Are live, bitches. This shit better work. Usually I have all kinds of technical difficulties with this podcast, and anybody who watches it live knows, even the ones that listen to it. Let's get this bitch started.
Public Yemeni #1.
Bitch, what's happening? What's cracking, motherfuckers? I'm over here live with Gary Leli, the hilarious Italian comedian. We was talking about all kinds of shit. My cat's over here staring at him like...
This is a great cat.
It is, right?
This is a great cat. I'm serious. I feel like...
she's luxurious.
I do feel like I'm in The Godfather. I'm going to be petting this. I'm going to have people coming into the room soon to make deals.
All right, let me see. Let me text Saad. Maybe we can get Saad on the podcast too. Do I have his number?
You might need an engineer at this point.
Yeah, you know.
I also like how your head is perfectly placed in between the horns that you have mounted on that.
That wasn't even planned.
You just look like a steer.
And the crazy thing is the horns has got like the Quran written on it.
Wow. Yeah. Look at that.
What's up, Gary?
Mikey. This is a pleasure.
It's a pleasure having you.
I'm really actually happy you're having me here on Groundhog Day.
Is it Groundhog Day?
That's what yeah.
It is?
You know what that...
This might be Saad. Salamu alaikum.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi. What's going on? You just interrupted. I was watching this podcast on MikeEshaq.com.
Saad, you're actually call number 1, and you've just won 2 tickets to Jingle Ball.
Yeah, that's where you...
I'm actually in the shower as we speak. How are you guys?
That's great.
That's great. that knows that you just won the bonus prize of Jingle Balls.
Saad's a real Arab. He can call from anywhere at any moment.
Yeah, it's true.
He's just got suds all over him. He's just calling from the shower.
He's like Saddam Hussein. He's got clones that work for him. The clones go out and date the fat girls that he don't want to date. What's that, Saad?
I said, don't get me started on Saddam Hussein. I might have some opinions that might get me deported real fast.
Listen, bro, knowing your status with the government, there's a satellite devoted just to following you, bro.
Yeah, I know. I was wondering if I should even call. I feel like a lot of people are watching, and a lot of them work for ICE.
Oh, forget it. You're already flagged. Don't worry about it, Saad.
Yeah, I got a lot of military people watching, too, so you know damn well fucking... You better fix that accent, son.
He's gonna get out of the shower and play Flight Simulator.
What's the cat?
What's that?
Your cat. What's it called?
This is what you called us for? You mean to tell me you saw the cat and you were like, wow,
what's the name?
I gotta call into the podcast
from the shower.
From the shower.
He couldn't wait.
I'm just curious what this episode's about. You know, like I didn't think you were a cat guy, to be honest.
No, he's
I am a cat guy. I'm an animal guy, and that's the thing. That's why you probably haven't heard that joke, but I have that bit in my set about how I don't look like a cat guy and how that's messing up my dating life, you know?
Yeah.
Saad, he's got a great cat, very peaceful, very calm.
She's cool. She's just every time I do the podcast where I have guests over, she likes to sit close to people. She just loves people. She's a people cat.
Yeah.
She hates cats though.
What cat likes
She
other
does.
cats?
That makes sense.
No, some cats like cats.
Yeah, you never see cats hanging out with cats.
Oh yeah.
Where?
I feel like everybody
in the alley.
Yeah, I guess maybe in the alley. How often you see that?
It's been a long time since I've been in an alley.
Never. Cats never go.
There's no alleys here in LA. What's that? What's that, Saad?
In Kuwait, we have a lot of stray cats.
Yeah, but in Kuwait, is it because Arabs love cats, right? I mean,
on the street.
On the street. In Kuwait, nobody has cats in their house?
No, it's by the house. Like they put tuna cans outside. They believe that they're gonna catch mice, even though we don't have mice. It's just the whole thing, you know?
So it's like a family cat, but the cat doesn't come in the house.
Everybody pet cat, and then we go on boat.
Yeah, like what kind of mouse is gonna survive 125 degrees?
Saad, stop petting cat. We're going yachting.
Yes.
Come on, let's go. Stop it already.
Yeah, forget playing with the cat. We're trying to get real boozy.
Saad, don't
Yeah.
worry. Stop petting cats. We take Lamborghini to pick up Lamborghini. Come on.
Why you have cat? We take Lamborghini to pick up a real tiger. We put a tiger in the passenger seat and we bawling.
He's got cats.
But the
You know,
tiger.
I still can't figure out why Mike has to put on an accent, but it's like it's crazy.
He's Americanized.
Really nice.
He fought for the Americans.
What do you mean it's crazy? You don't like it?
No, I think you have a natural one, but you emphasize it even more, and it just sounds more foreign.
Yeah. I do it on purpose to add comedic effect, bro. You know?
Yeah, he had a terrorist effect.
It's got a funny terrorist effect.
With that Detroit little Detroit accent.
I be that fucking terrorist while the plane's going down. I'm gonna give him a hot five, a type five.
My favorite story is when I met Mike and we had the first conversation the first time by the Comedy Store, and like I go, "Hey Mike, how are you? Are you Arab?" He's like, "Yeah, but I'm from Puerto Rico." And I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, but I also fought for the Marines in America." It's a long story. But I also grew up in Indonesia. I'm like, "What the fuck, man? I got
Patio stories.
patio stories.
You will meet anything and everything.
Hey Saad, you fucking did a great job at Laugh Factory the other night, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It was great. It was good to see you. Do they got you hosting more now?
I'm hosting tomorrow night in Long Beach and then Saturday at Hollywood again.
That's awesome, bro. So you're hosting a lot there.
Yeah.
That's great,
But
bro.
it's enough about me, bro. You have a guest on the podcast. What's the episode about?
Let's talk about you.
No, let's talk about you. This is more interesting. You're
Yeah.
in the fucking shower and
Yeah.
you're calling us.
He's not.
I am in the
he's-
shower. I wish you guys can FaceTime. You should see my hair. It looks exquisite.
He was just sitting in there crying. He's like, I'm gonna call in now.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear the water, or it's pretty good? Good audio.
We got you. We're good.
It kind of sounds like you're
I'm
taking
using-
a piss sitting down.
No. I'm using a body wash called Wildland.
Here we go.
Pretty good.
Now we're getting all the information. He's gonna be at the door in his underwear in about 3 minutes.
Saad, I gotta get you on the
Gary, remember
podcast
on
too.
deck?
Bro. I gotta get you on.
Gary, remember on deck people would show up to the mic. I'm coming out of the shower.
Always. I've never seen it. You would hear the shower running, and then he would come out. He goes, "What's up? We're gonna start this 7:00 mic." You better get him on
I
this
would come out in
podcast.
the shower.
You know what? Saad
I
for
would
3
come out in
years.
the shower.
Saad for 3 years has been telling me he's getting deported.
Yeah,
Never happens.
never happens.
Never happens.
That's everyone who's about to get deported. They just want to let you know about the impending danger.
You talk to Saad, he goes like this. He goes, I have no income coming in, and then he goes, but I have the Kuwaiti account. Don't worry.
Yeah, he says that. He says that. They just airdrop you money.
He goes, I just, I don't know how I'm going to pay the rent this month. I have no idea. And then he just looks and he stares. He looks at the air and he goes, there's the Kuwaiti account. There's no such thing. You go out to dinner with Saad. This is the best. You go out to dinner with Saad and you will sit there. He will take you to a restaurant, wherever this may be. He finds all of the Arab hotspots.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So, like, the entree is like $640 an entree. And then he sits there and he hopes to sit close to the door so that he can judge all the Saudi Arabians that are coming in.
What?
So I go out to dinner with Saad, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, yeah, let's get some appetizers, we get some drinks. And I'm ordering like a normal Italian guy would order. And Saad is just sitting there, and as he cuts into his food, he goes, Saudis. And I go, is that supposed to mean something to me? It's starting to get scary.
You basically went out with the racist from the Arab world. You know what I mean? But it's very acceptable because you have no idea what's happening. And he just woke up. He's like, I really need to be racist today. Come on, Gary. Let's eat some food.
They all pulled up in Rolls Royces, and he's like, yeah, the Saudis are here. I go, I don't know if that's supposed to mean something to me.
Well,
No, I was just basically trying to help you, like, train your eyes to distinguish between the different Arabs. Like,
you
how,
can't
Asians
tell.
are really good at spotting different kinds of Asians.
No, there's no. Hey, Saad, that is some fucking bullshit. Yeah. It is so hard to distinguish the difference between an Arab or a fucking Dominican. Sometimes it's just like, you can't tell. I remember talking to Dante Chang one time. Dante Chang's got this really funny joke about how during World War II, when the Japanese were trying to enslave the Koreans, he goes, those people
Dante Chang
he goes,
wasn't around during. fucking World War.
What the fuck is wrong with you, Saad?
I'm not really sure.
I can't even tell a fucking story without you fucking being. Listen, so Dante and Cheng had this joke about how, like, if he lived during World War II, he would never get caught because he would just act Japanese. He goes, how are they going to know that I'm Korean? I just act Japanese. And then I asked him, I was like, wait a minute, you can't tell the difference between a Korean or a Japanese person? And he's like, can you tell the difference between an Arab person, another Arab person? And then I thought about it. I'm like, bro, I can't tell the difference between a Puerto Rican and a Yemeni. You know what I'm saying? So to me, Saad, how do you figure out who the Saudi Arabians are as opposed to who are any other Arab? You know what I mean? Aside from what they're wearing, like if they're wearing their traditional dress, I understand that.
It's all based upon the private
there's
jet.
other traditional pointers. So basically,
Yeah.
like the Emiratis, you can see the beard. It's very sharp. It starts at the cheekbone, you know, and they all have veneers.
And they all have what?
the moment they
Veneers.
start, it's-
Oh, they all have
Veneers.
veneers.
Right. White teeth and sharp
So
chins.
that's how you know he's from the Emirates.
Okay. How about a
And then
Saudi?
the Saudi guys, horrible sense of fashion. So you'll see like really tight sweats, a shirt, a golden watch, blue shirts, too much gel, and it's like, and you can tell that like they just walk different. They walk like they're in traditional clothes, but they're not in traditional clothes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
you know what's funny that you say that? I saw Saudi Arabians when I was in Texas.
Here we go. See?
And sure enough, I remember looking at them going,
Fucking right.
I know, well, I know, but I remember when I saw them, they were all sloppy in how they were wearing their clothes. Like it didn't look right. The shit didn't fit right.
Yeah.
Wow. How about
See?
Yemenis?
Yemenis, they usually, you know, they put on a thick accent, and they're usually from Detroit. It's very
See?
easy. Snap back.
Shut the fuck up.
The internal Arab racism is just spectacular.
There's racism with Italians too. No? South, North, white, Sicily.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but if you grow up in New York, and you just judge by what kind of car you drive.
Yeah, well, New York Italians, obviously. Yeah. We're talking about real Italians.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing over there.
Can you tell different Italians apart, Gary, or no?
What?
Yes.
What do you say?
You could tell Sicilians from.
Yeah, Sicilians are more darker skin.
Yeah.
Well, Sicilians look a lot of Sicilians can look Arab too.
They also have, they're very like very stern. There's no flex in them. They're very hard headed.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Traditionalists?
Yeah. I mean, I have people that I grew up with.
Yeah.
That are Sicilian.
Yeah.
And they like have parents, and if you're a girl,
Yeah.
you can't move out of the house until you get married.
Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. Some Sicilians have that old school Middle Eastern type of tradition, and I think a lot of it is because the Arabs conquered that part of Italy for hundreds of years.
Well, it's really and that's a very true statement. They won't let them leave the house. Like people will just intentionally get married just to get the hell out of the house.
Yeah, that's Arabs.
Which is
That's like my cousin. Yeah.
Yeah.
crazy. And Italians,
And that's like your cousin who married your other cousin.
there are Italians that will let their kid. Go ahead.
No, please.
No, please.
Italians will let their kids live in their house until they're like 50.
Okay, you know what? Can I say something about this?
They'll have like $4 million in the bank.
That's what I'm talking about.
And
Okay.
they'll be like, I'm moving out next month.
Bro,
But-
this is the thing. This is the thing that I want to bring up. And any white people that are watching this, maybe you can learn something from this type of culture, because Arabs have that culture and Italians have that culture.
Yeah.
People ask me, why is it, or sometimes they're always wondering, why is it that these Arabs come here, they just move here, and then all of a sudden, real quick, the kids are driving these nice cars and whatever. And that's because we don't have a culture of you're turning 18 and you have to get the fuck out of the house. Like in white American culture, you're a loser if you're over 18 and living with your mom.
Yep.
In Arab culture, if you're a man who's not married, right? And you're living with your mom, all the hot Arab girls think you are a catch. You're
Right.
good to your family. You're nice to
Family
your
oriented.
mother, whatever, right? And then the byproduct of that is, and I didn't even realize this until somebody pointed out later. The byproduct is by the time you do move out of your mom's house, you got stacks of cash.
Yep.
Stacks of cash
Yeah.
to either invest or blow it up on nice cars.
Well, the way this happens is, and I know this from living in New York and Queens specifically, is people will live in their parents' home for that long, have that kind of money, and then move right next door.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So they buy the house next door.
Yes.
Or what we have is
that happens a lot with Yemenis.
this also too. A lot of Italians will buy 2 and 3 family homes.
Yes.
Right? And then the grandparents live on the bottom because
Yes.
they're the ones that originally purchased the house.
Yes,
So
yes.
they get the full floor plus the basement.
Yeah. Because they can't go upstairs.
No.
They're too old for that.
They don't go up the stairs.
They don't go up the stairs.
They usually don't use the main floor of the house. They live in the basement. They
Sure.
do all of their hanging out, eating,
Yep.
socializing
Yep.
in the basement.
Yep.
And then
Yep.
when the grandparents die, their kids take it over, and the grandkids go on.
It's
the
like
top.
a Pez dispenser.
That's all it is.
It's like a Pez dispenser.
It's a Pez dispenser of Italians. When you move, like if you move off the block,
Yeah.
people are confused.
Yeah.
Where are you going? Where would?
But
you
if you
go?
do move off the block, all the family moves off the
All
block,
the-
bro.
yes.
That's really funny because that is definitely true. Because the Yemenis that are now moving into my mom's neighborhood that bought my mom's house, the guy that bought my mom's house bought the house across the street and the house next to it. So his whole family's going to
family
be
lives
living
there.
in that block.
Absolutely.
They're going to be like, you know, it's and I think a lot of people don't realize that that's how you build wealth. That's how you build a good community, a good structure. And that's why I implore white mothers and fathers of America, if you really want to save America, let your kid stay with you while he has a job and have him save that money and teach him what to do with that money.
I say this all the time. I knew Italians that were off the boat Italians that came to New York in the 60s, 70s, and they didn't know any English whatsoever. They were like landscapers, construction, masonry,
concrete.
Right?
All in Detroit, they're all doing concrete.
They all bought a 2-family home,
Sure.
a 2-family home.
Sure.
Right? Here we are 40 years later. They
Yes.
still don't have command of the English language.
Yeah. They don't need to.
And they got $28 million worth of real estate.
Yes. Yes, that's Dearborn, Michigan. Dearborn, Michigan, where all the Arabs are. Because they do that, so many of the people, the Lebanese people and the Yemeni people that live there are so spoiled because they have their own economy.
Yes.
That they don't have to learn how to
They
speak
never
English
go
no more.
outside of their circle.
They never go outside of their circle.
They do work for their own culture.
That's it.
They hang out with their own culture.
That's it.
They hang out in the backyard. They all speak the same
Everything's
language.
in walking distance.
Yeah.
Everything you need is there.
They don't. The only people that don't in their world that don't speak their language is the IRS.
Exactly.
You know.
Tax was tax.
Yeah.
And you know what they do? They'll run loophole games. Like Arabs will run loophole games to avoid tax.
Yeah. I mean, that's every.
So like if there's like an incentive to have like at one point they'll be like, if you opened up a business, your first 2 years is tax free.
Right.
Great. So you have it for 2 years to tax free, and then you shut the business down, but then you transfer it into your cousin's name,
smart.
and then you got another 2 years
They're
tax free.
smart.
You know, that's smart.
They're smart. They're very. Immigrants are very resourceful.
Oh, you're still here, motherfucker?
He's still here. He's lathering.
He's lathering.
Are you on the conditioner yet?
What's that?
I was brushing my teeth, so I was on mute.
Oh, what were you gonna say, Saad? You were gonna say something?
I was gonna say, I don't know if it's an Arab thing. I think politicians do that all the time too. You know, they open
Absolutely.
a church, they don't give a fuck about religion, and they don't pay taxes. So
Of
it's not-
course.
Oh yeah. No. I mean, listen, we're not saying that that's only exclusive to Arabs or
No.
whatever, but I'm just saying there is a
We're
culture.
just really good at it. Yeah.
There's a culture. There's a culture of that type of. So I don't know how like Italians look at it, but the way I look at it is Arabs look at it this way. This country meddles with shit around the world that forced bombs on their country, which forced them to flee their country and have to go to the country that blew up their country. Okay? So to them, doing a little white lie like trying to avoid some taxes is nothing. They don't look at it like it's anything. It's
Right.
like
Maybe it's owed to them.
it's kind of not only owed to them, but then it's almost like this idea of like, what, you want me to be all this pristine type of human being while I'm a product of what you did to my fucking country? Like, go fuck yourself, you know?
I think the Italians more so look at it like when they came over,
Yeah.
they were very much of the mindset like they bought into the American dream. They bought into that whole world and that way of living, and they built businesses. They built their family. Like they knew that they could never make what they were making in their country.
Right.
So, I mean, it's actually very interesting.
Wait a minute. You're saying that because they know that they can't make what they made in their country, that's why they fuck the government?
No, I mean, listen. whatever happens when they come here. You know, like that's just. I mean, you know.
I just love how you got so so Italian accusations. like it's like I was accusing you, like, hey, you know, things happen.
I'm now feeling like I'm
Whatever happens,
interrogated.
I know.
I gotta go check my things out when I get out of here.
That's what the Marines said when they got to Afghanistan. They're like, guys, what's the plan? They're like, listen, whatever happens.
Happens.
See where it goes.
We're just gonna see where it goes. We're gonna improvise, you know.
Like later, you have people falling off of an aircraft, hitting their face on the concrete.
Oh
It's
my
like, whatever
God.
happens.
Bro, one of the Marines that I performed with last night was one of the Marines that was sent there to do the operation of leaving Afghanistan. And one of his jobs to do was he had to go out in the middle of the night before they left. And because he was a helicopter mechanic, his job was to destroy and break all of the equipment of all the helicopters that they were going to leave behind, so that
they didn't
the
take
Taliban can't
Yep.
use it or whatever. And even he said it's like he goes even he felt like it was fucked up, because in his mind it's like, what, we couldn't get like a couple of people to fly these things out of here and we can get some more of these people out of here.
Right.
But that's that's not how it was. Oh, look at that. The cat's on your lap, bro.
It's not good for business. Number one, it's not good for business, right? For these contracts. And second of all, even if they left the equipment fully functional, I don't think the Taliban could fly these things, man. It's like, honestly.
What do you think they can't?
They get the Microsoft Flight Simulator.
You don't.
Are you
It's like,
kidding me?
I play Flight
On their
Simulator
phone.
on PlayStation 1. I think it's the same. Press X. He launches a missile into his mother's house.
Let me tell you something. First off, 9/11 was an inside job, because you cannot get a bunch of Arabs to coordinate something
Here
like
we
that.
go.
It's
now,
impossible.
You see, this is where we've taken a turn for the worst over here.
Come on, man.
I might be the wrong guest. I'm gonna go sit this one out for the next
Yeah.
half hour.
Gary-
Let you guys take
Gary,
over. What went on 9/11?
My cat's ass is in your face. That's how cats say hi. You know that, right?
The best is I know. Oh,
That's how cats say it. They give you
and
their
then
ass.
and then I got to stare at the peach pit for an hour. Why do the cat's ass always look like a peach pit?
Yeah.
Right? You could be anywhere, right? Just having a dinner at someone's house and cat jumps
It
up.
also looks like the end of a marshmallow if you
Yes.
dropped it on dirt.
Gary was like,
She
"We're
heard
gonna
that. She
talk
got
shit,
mad.
We're having a good time, maybe like an Aperol Spritz." And he sits down and it's like, 9/11 was an inside job. And it's like, all right, I'm going to see you guys later.
Yeah.
If you hang out with Saad long enough, he convinces you that George Bush was in on it.
Oh, really? I think so.
He looks at you with a very straight face and he goes, George Bush was definitely in on it. And you go, definitely true.
Yeah. I don't think George Bush was in on it. I think George Bush was too stupid to be in on it. I think that Cheney and everyone else, whoever fucking was pulling the strings, and then George Bush was kind of like, okay, I guess that happened. Shit.
I don't know. He had some friends that he was inviting to that ranch that were pretty close to him. I don't know.
All right.
Anyway,
let's talk about that over some
let's
music.
talk about it.
Hey, let's I'm gonna play some music for us to be able to think this thought out that a fan on Instagram asked, and the question was, do you think there's more wheels or doors in the world?
Easy.
we have an answer.
Do we have an answer already? Did you just Google
Saad,
it?
Saad is now sitting on his couch in a towel with a towel wrapped around his head. He's getting a manicure from someone.
Yeah.
When I feel like I should let you guys go and enjoy this one.
All right, buddy.
But just to give you my answer on the wheels versus door thing, why did that person ask that question?
Well, he's not here for us to
Yeah.
ask now.
And we don't know what kind of state that particular fella is in right now. He may have just been smoked a whole bowl and,
Yeah. Or he might be in a mental institution and
We
got
don't
the
know.
hold of the security guard's phone. And
it's a midday
I think
question.
there's definitely, I would say doors before I leave the conversation. I'd say doors.
I'm going wheels.
Really?
Four wheels on a car? How many cars?
ooh, see, there's a point. He's got a good point there,
Yeah, but
right?
Doors can't four ways.
There are more wheels.
Truck drivers?
There's more wheels. Yeah, because not
Wheels on the chair.
many fucking wheels on the fucking chair that I'm sitting on. And how many are there? There's 4, right? And they're split into 2, which actually means there's 8.
Tractor trailers.
Truck drivers, the fucking 16 wheelers.
Wheel barrels.
Wheelbarrows can be wheels.
carts.
Wheels in
Shopping
your
carts.
head, wheels are
Cans.
turning.
Shopping carts.
Shopping carts, 4 fucking wheels on a shopping cart. I don't know, Saad. I think there's something to the whole thing. I like to think that there are more doors, but then when you see how many homeless people there are in LA, I don't think so, man. Fuck.
Wheels.
Wheels, for sure, wheels.
It's got to be.
100% wheels. Roller skates. How many people are owning a unicycle?
In LA?
Anywhere.
There's probably about 100,000 that own a unicycle in LA.
In LA, 100%. Yeah,
I've
yeah,
ever
yeah.
been.
Or in fucking Williamsburg, New York, for
Yes.
sure. That's how everybody commutes.
That's their primary mode of transportation.
Everybody
get
has
on-
got excellent core work.
Just get on the unicycle to go down to your job.
Their fucking suspenders. Going to fucking make coffee.
I'm going with wheels. Wheels it is.
Yeah, I think wheels, man. What do you think, Saad? You still think doors?
I'm sticking doors just because I'm stubborn. I think, if you consider tents as buildings and the first doors and, civilization, I think doors.
All right.
But
So,
who cares?
man, I almost really want to know. I mean, there's a part of me that goes,
Let's just go with wheels. Maybe we should move on.
if there's
Listen, I'm going to go with doors, and I'm going to say 9/11 was an inside job.
it was an inside job, bro.
Yes. And you needed the door for it to be an inside job.
Hey, can you hear those sound effects on your end?
No.
Okay.
He goes, no.
All right,
no.
guys, it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure.
Enjoy, and I'll let you guys know.
Go
when I get
enjoy
back.
the caviar.
All right, buddy. Peace out.
Thank you, Javi. Thanks for having me.
All right,
Pleasure.
Saudi.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
All right.
That's so
bye.
funny.
Bye.
Did you call him Saudi?
Saudi.
Oh.
Saudi. All right, Saudi. Here we are on Groundhog Day, talking about if there's more wheels or doors in the world.
I don't know why, bro, but now when I start thinking about it, I'm like, how many people are actually driving?
There's no question there's more wheels.
There's no question that there's more wheels than doors?
Let's just take it like we'll go like this.
Let
You
me
go-
ask Siri.
You could do that, but let's take the supermarket for example, right?
Okay, the supermarket.
How many doors are in the supermarket? I don't know.
Oh, shit. Okay,
Maybe
the supermarket.
30, 40.
30, 40,
Maybe.
possibly, right? Okay.
We got 400 carts,
Oh, yeah.
4 wheels.
Yeah.
We got 1,600 wheels.
Oh, wow. 1,600, you think? How many shopping
Carts?
carts? They don't got 400 at a fucking supermarket, bro.
Why not?
400.
All right, so 200. There's 200 shopping carts.
Yeah, I would
It's
say
800.
that's a lot of wheels, right?
That's a lot of wheels.
Then you got all the cars that are in the parking lot.
Who the fuck is this guy that asked this question?
It hurts. It fucking hurts. Like, my whole fucking head is just like, wow. Those are questions that make me go, whoa. Are there more wheels or doors in the world? There are over 37 billion wheels in the world, whereas there are an estimate of around 42 billion doors. So there's 10, almost like 5 billion more doors than wheels.
Damn. That's insanity.
Fuck, Saad was right.
Well, there you go. He'll be calling in again after he has dessert.
You know what's funny, bro? It's like it's really hard to tell if he's got money or not because he always has the face of someone who's about to lose something. Every time you see him, he's like, oh, yeah. No, everything's fine. Yeah. It's like,
When I first met him, he was doing the mic up. There he goes.
God damn it.
He's defending himself.
What, bro?
I told you it was doors. I told you it was doors. Goodbye.
Fuck you, man.
There you go.
Yalla.
Yalla habibi.
Remember that?
Yes, of course.
Everyone remembers that growing up to that.
Bro. I can't believe we literally spoke about doors and wheels for the last 25 minutes here.
Yeah, 25 minutes. Hot man, you've been keeping track.
Jeez.
29 minutes, not bad. Yeah, bro. Wow. What a waste of 25 minutes.
Such a waste.
Such a waste, bro.
Let's talk about how ridiculous Groundhog Day is.
Yeah. Is it today?
Yes, it's today.
How do you know?
I saw it in the paper. I read the New York Post religiously. It's where I get all my information from, Mike. The New York Post.
Isn't the New York Post a bad newspaper?
Why?
I don't know.
Who says?
I don't know.
They got pictures.
I know one of the posts.
They got the Washington Post.
The Washington Post is the bad one.
Yeah, that's the one I don't like. I like the New York Post. It gives you all. Listen, the New York Post is the best periodical there is.
Why?
Gives you all the dirt, everything you need to know. You get a little bit of news mixed in there. You get some sports.
What type of dirt?
You know, gossip. You know,
You like gossip?
I love it.
You like a woman.
I could read all the dirt going on.
You love gossip.
Love it.
Why?
I'm Italian. This is what we do.
Yeah, but see, like in the Arab culture, it's the women that do the gossiping, and it's the men that.
Everybody does that.
Yeah, but not on the level that the women do.
Everybody does it.
In
Everybody's a shit talker, Mike.
in the Arab world, the women,
Yeah.
we call them CNN.
Yeah.
They're the like you try to tell someone a secret, and then all of a sudden, some woman on the other side of town already knows exactly what the fuck you said. All the women know what the fuck you just said. There's like this network of like.
It's the cultures that have a very like. I knew growing up, there were people that would sit on their front step of their house.
Yeah.
And as people walked by, they knew everybody in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
and they'd be like, "Oh, that's Anna." And then she would pass by and go, "You hear what her husband did?"
Yeah.
And then that's a 45-minute conversation between all the neighbors.
It's like a podcast. Like they're all having a little. Yeah.
All the neighbors are talking shit about each other, but they show up for each other when, God forbid, something happens.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's every community, bro.
Every community.
Every community.
Every.
But usually you leave that up for the women.
No, I think everybody does it.
I mean, guys, like me and my guy friends, we don't really.
Anyway, the New York Post is where it's at.
Okay, please tell me why. Should I get it?
Yeah, get it right on your phone.
So you're not reading the paper, you're reading on your phone.
No, they got a thing there called Star Snaps. I'm really into that. You see all the celebrities getting coffee in the morning. I don't know why I like that, but I do. When you flip through it, you go, "Oh, that's okay." Ben Affleck had another cup of coffee and a cigarette. Good to know. That's what I like. It's the level of shit. Then you slip, you go, "Oh, there's a Joe Biden article." You read about him. He didn't do nothing. And the next thing you know, you're in sports before you end. It's a great.
So let me know about the
New York
gossip
Post.
with celebrities. What's something new now that we should know about? Because I'm really bad at paying attention to that shit.
Yeah, I don't really have much going on. You know, there's not nothing really exciting going on as of right now. New York Post has been kind of dim the last few days.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of stuff on the Idaho murders.
A lot of stuff in the Idaho.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
You didn't see that? What?
Bro.
The four kids in college that got murdered? Come on, Mike.
When did that happen?
What, have you been under a rock?
Yeah. Bro, I don't watch the news no more.
Oh.
I don't have any touch with the news. I used to be a news hound back in the day, paying attention to every political bullshit. I was on top of everything, bro.
Right.
And I was the type of guy that I just wanted to, whenever I try to collect information, I don't collect information to be like, "Oh, that's what it is." I'm always trying to figure out where the lie is. That's my biggest thing, right? And the thing is that it stressed me out. You know, being Arab, Middle Eastern, seeing what we're doing in the Middle East, and, you know, it's just all that politics stuff and how heartbreaking it is. It gets to a point where you're just like, fuck, I got to
people get so deep in it.
I got deep into
You
it.
can't get deep into it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, there's nothing you can really do.
Exactly. That's the point. That's the point where I stopped doing it.
Like, people's lives are being controlled by the politicians,
Yeah.
everything that's going on.
Yeah.
You can't do anything about it. You vote, and you just got to outrun it. That's all you got to do. People complain about taxes. You got to make more money.
Yeah. That's exactly how I look at it, bro.
People don't understand. They get
That
so caught
is
up. It's
such
like,
a good, that's exactly how I look at it.
you got to outrun it.
You got to outrun it. Bro, I love that mindset, bro. That's good. Before me and you started this, we were talking about business, right? We were talking about how we look at money, right? How you said you were, at a very young age, someone who really enjoyed the idea of saving money and using it to make you more money at a very young age, whereas it took me till maybe late 20s, early 30s to start really putting that into action. You know what I mean? And so
You got to outrun it.
that's the whole outrunning thing is exactly how I look at it, man. Like when I invest in rental properties, I'm trying to outrun inflation.
Trying to do.
I'm trying to
Absolutely.
outrun medical costs that are going to keep going up, gas prices.
Gas prices. People complain about gas and eggs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's never going the other way. It's
Yeah.
not going back the other way.
Well, it went back a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you got to outrun it.
You got to outrun
right?
it.
So you just got to make more money.
Yeah.
Like I even did that as a kid, which I'll tell you. I was like 16 years old, and I remember coming home from school one day, And I was working in a restaurant, but I was making, you know, like $6 an hour,
Yeah.
$6.50, you know, $6, $6
Yeah.
and a half.
Yeah.
And I came home to my mom and I was like, Mom, listen, I got to make more money. I got to figure out, I was like, how do I open up a laundromat?
A laundromat.
I don't know why.
Right.
But I was like, everybody puts quarters in the laundromat all day long.
Right.
People doing their wash.
Yeah.
Seems like I was 16 years old, had no clue. I go to the yellow pages. I'm looking for like, how do I buy? Because this is back.
How old were you?
Yeah, exactly.
How old were you?
I was 16.
16. You already had this mindset of being a business person.
That's what I wanted to do.
That's what you wanted to do. You wanted to be a businessman.
Always.
I
always wanted to make money.
So you right away looked at ways that other people were making money, and you were just so interested.
Vending machines. I was like, I can get into vending machines. Had no idea what to do, how to do it, but I was just like, maybe I can do vending machines.
Okay.
Everyone's getting a snack, a bag of chips, a soda, whatever.
Yeah.
So then I was like, well, I'm like 16 years old. I would have to actually buy the laundromat, get, you know, do all of that. So one day I walk into my younger brother needed a Met jersey, a New York Met jersey.
Yeah.
And Mike Piazza had just been traded from whatever team he was on. I think it was the Dodgers or the Marlins at the time to the Mets. And my brother finds out in school through this woman who was a lunch aide that her husband does all the uniforms for the New York Mets. So I go with my brother. He's like, I want to get a Mike Piazza jersey. Russ at Stitches does these jerseys. So I go with my brother, and I'm standing in this place, all the embroidery machines, silk screening, and I'm like putting two and two together. I'm like, holy shit, I could sell apparel. I could go and get businesses. I can get silk screening jobs, embroidery jobs, and I can have him do it and just sell it. And so he said to me, he goes, here, just take these catalogs. He goes and go to every business you see, pizza places, mechanics, car dealers, anybody you see. They all need shirts, golf shirts, jackets, sweatshirts. And so
bowling leagues, whatever.
Bowling leagues, softball, baseball, everything.
Yeah.
So I take these catalogs. I get business cards made for like $80.
Okay.
And I walk into my school. I was
how old were you at the time?
Junior, so 16.
16 going on 17?
Yeah, 16, 17, junior, sophomore, junior. And I go into the lunchroom, and the assistant principal and the principal are sitting there, and they have a golf shirt on the table with a logo, the school logo. So I go over to them and I say, hey, Mr. Krams, are you doing those shirts? Are you having those made? He goes, yeah. I go, I could do those. And he looks at me like, you're out of your mind. What are you talking about? So I go, I can do those shirts. Mind you, I had never sold a job, ever. I don't know anything about embroidery. I don't know anything about
But you knew that you had to be confident.
And I knew that I had Russ, who I consider my Uncle Russ now, very close to him. I was like, I'm just going to take it to Russ and have him lead you
the way, yeah.
So I said to the assistant principal, I said, how about this? Give me the shirt. Let me make you a sample. If I come back and I beat the price, do I get the job? And he laughed at me because he was like, what the fuck?
Because you're a kid.
Yeah. He was like, you have class in 20 minutes. What are you doing? So he gives me the shirt. It was a Monday.
He's probably also laughing because it was like joyous to him as a teacher to see a kid have this much. Mm-hmm. Because I'm sure as a teacher, it probably was like, I'd be laughing too. I'm like, this kid's amazing, you know?
Well, so I take the shirt and then I bring it to my Uncle Russ. I couldn't wait to get there. I get out of school. I'm like, I got to go see Russ. I got to, you know.
Yeah.
I walk in. I go, Russ. I go, they're going to do 200 of these shirts. Here's the shirt. I don't know anything about it. He goes, oh, that's easy. He knows the exact brand.
Yeah.
He goes, we'll get the exact shirt. He goes, I'll duplicate the logo. He goes, come back Thursday. I'm going to give you this, and I'm going to give you ours. He goes, did he tell you how much he was paying? I was like, yeah, it was like $21. It was a nice shirt.
$21 a shirt?
A shirt.
Was it a t-shirt?
It was like a golf shirt.
Golf shirt. So there was like, I had a collar and all that.
And they were using them because you had to wear a uniform in high school. They were using them in the summertime, like in the spring when it got warm, so that the kids didn't have to wear a shirt and tie. So it was basically part of the uniform. So they were getting them regardless. So they were going to do, like I said, 200 or 300 of them. So he tells me $21 a shirt. He goes, if you can beat it, I'll give it to you. I walk in there Friday morning. I got my sample. I got his. And I go, 19. Saved him $2 a shirt. And he looks at me and he goes, done. He goes, can you have him in 3 weeks? I go, yep. 3 weeks later, I delivered him. I had that account for 10 years. So the best is I deliver all of these shirts. All of the kids, including myself, are wearing these shirts. They have no idea that I'm the one who did all of these shirts.
And you didn't brag to them at all?
I didn't say a word.
Why not?
Because I felt like that was my business, and I shut my mouth. I don't need anyone knowing what's going on. It was between me and the principal. And
even
the
at 16 years old, you knew not to. You had
What?
you had the discipline to be able to be like, I'm not going to brag to these
Nothing.
people, because I know if I was doing that, I'd be
know.
like,
It was hard.
everybody knows.
It was
bro.
fucking
I
hard.
let everybody.
It was fucking
know.
hard. But here's the thing. This is so funny. So I'm sitting in class.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget this. It was one of the greatest feelings ever. And over the loudspeaker, the assistant principal says, "Will Gary Leli please report to the main office?" And everybody's like, "Dick, yeah, Dick," because they think I'm like in trouble. They think I have detention. They have no idea. They thought maybe I was late to class or something happened. So I go down to the principal's office, and he hands me a check for like $6,200. I'm 16 years old.
Who's this?
The principal, the assistant principal. $6,200. And I go up, I put it in my pocket. I go upstairs,
And that's for.
the shirts.
That's how much the.
Yeah, because it was 300 shirts.
Oh, wow.
Times $20, whatever it was like a $6,000 check.
Wow.
And I'll never forget. I probably made, I don't know, like $1,200 on that order.
Off of that.
Yeah,
That's
I was
what that was
16,
your cut.
and I didn't do anything. I just my uncle did.
You were the middleman.
That's it.
Yeah.
I was the broker.
You were the broker.
Right?
Yeah.
So
You were the guy. You were the voice, the charisma.
I go up to the classroom, and they're all like, all my friends are like, because we make fun of each other. That's all we do. Yeah, Dick got got in trouble, and I'm sitting there with all of their money in my pocket, and I was like, bro, the teacher's like, you got to pay attention. I'm like, you have no idea. I just made more money than you did in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that was like such a great.
That was a 1 month or was like a 1 month turnaround. So you got that check about a month after, right?
Yeah. So I was just like,
That's good for a 16-year-old man
so
for
I
1 month.
and I never stopped.
And then you just kept piling that money.
Yeah. So I just took that money, I stuck it in my bank account, and I just kept saving and saving and saving.
Okay, let me ask you something. Did anybody teach you this?
My mom.
So your mom.
My
how about your
mom.
father?
My dad wasn't my mom was the breadwinner. She started, like, my dad had a failed business, and he's a great guy, but my dad's not a businessman.
Yeah.
My dad is not a business guy.
Yeah.
So he went into business for himself, hard worker, nice guy, but he's just not that guy.
He doesn't have the gift.
No. My mom started her own bridal business. And she started it from absolutely nothing. And then every time I was with her, she's like, you do this, you do that, you do that. And I just started to sink in.
Yeah.
And then I
That's
started
what I'm
to
saying. Because you at 16, it was hard for me to believe. Well, not hard. I mean, it can happen. But it was a part of me that was like, you must have had some inspiration
her.
to be able to have that automatic idea of how you approach shit, man.
My mom was always dropping stuff in my ear. She was telling me at 15, she's like, you should buy property.
Ooh.
Like, there was no basis for this. She was just always dropping things in my head that were smart.
Yeah.
And so I always listened to them, even if I couldn't do it.
My dad would do the same shit.
At that point in my life, like, I didn't have the resources or whatever to do it.
Sure.
I always had those
He's
thought
planting
process.
seeds. She was planting early seeds that were just germinating into whatever they were going to be later. That's
And you
good.
start to think like that. It's a mindset. So you start to think in those terms, and you start to go, oh, okay. And then if you just kind of stay disciplined, I feel, you can make things work, and things start to become easier for you. And a lot of people, that's the problem. It's like none of the shit that successful people do is hard. It's just discipline.
I wouldn't say none of the shit that successful people do is hard. I wouldn't say that, man.
It's hard.
I still think it's hard because a lot of the stuff. So, for example, I did my real estate stuff. When I did that, I was doing that while I was still trying to understand and learn comedy. I was in improv. I wasn't doing stand-up at the time. But while I was teaching myself real estate, it would give me migraines. I never had migraines before. The reason why is because I was forcing myself to learn something that doesn't come naturally to me. So the first 2-3 weeks of being in that was grueling because my brain was like, no, dude, make jokes.
Right.
Not figure out these spreadsheets and ROIs and how to fucking calculate
So how did
risk.
you get started in that? In the real estate thing? Like, what made you get into that?
Well, I'm going to tell you, my mom did the same thing. My mom would always plant the seeds Michael, go into business.
Yeah.
Michael, become businessman.
Right.
Because everyone in my family is business.
Right.
I'm talking everyone on my mom's side of the family, business. And the funny thing with Yemenis is Yemenis can tell what type of character and what you're about just from where you are in Yemen.
Right.
Because we're all tribal, right?
Right.
So I remember as a young kid, I started realizing how important it was for me to know where in Yemen I came from. Because my parents never really gave that stuff to me, you know? I walked into a gas station and this guy was like, where is your family from, man? He's from Yemen. And I was like, oh, from Hadramaut. Hadramaut? He's like, you from Hadramaut? Because I never see Hadrami people in Detroit. And then he's like, wow, man. He goes, your family, they very got money. They're business people, very smart. I'm like, whoa. How do you know this? And he's like, you know nothing? And I was like, no. He goes, brother, you need to learn your history, man. You're gonna. He tells me, he goes, when you learn your history, you're gonna learn a lot about yourself.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I was young, whatever.
Right.
Then a few years goes by. I'm sitting down with this Jordanian guy at a film festival. And we're all sitting around after the film festival, just getting to know each other, a bunch of Arab filmmakers or whatever. And this guy's like, so you're from Yemen, huh? And he's like, what village? And I go, Hadramaut. He goes, again, this guy goes, you're Hadrami? And I was like, yeah. I go, why is it that people fucking flip out when I say that? He goes, you never see Hadramis in Detroit.
Right.
And then I'm like, okay, so what does that mean? He goes, so you have no idea about your people, do you? And I go, no. And then this is exactly what he tells me. He goes, let me guess. The majority of your family are highly educated. They are all in business, and the majority of them reside in Asia. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, yeah. He goes, what country? I go, Indonesia. He goes, of course. And I'm like,
wow.
What are you? Then he broke it down. He was like, dude, you have no idea. He goes, your people came up in a part of Yemen that was so hard to grow or live because it was the arid desert and they couldn't get to the nice part of Yemen easily because of a treacherous mountain range. So it was much easier for them to build ships and get the fuck out of there.
Wow.
So he goes, your people were the seafarers of Yemen. They were the only ones that built ship, and they traveled all along the Indian Ocean,
industrious,
being merchants all along Southeast Asia before Islam. Mm-hmm. And then they had this strict thing where it's like, if you're a Hadrami Yemeni living in Asia, you have to marry only other Hadrami Yemenis because they were like prideful about their culture because they were the more educated, more worldly ones. So business is in my genes, right, bro. And it was even in my mom. My mom just always telling me, go into business. But I always wanted to be an artist. And I always, at a very young age, was like, I couldn't understand business and art at the same time. Like the idea of running numbers and all that shit just didn't fucking matter to me. But then, bro, 28 hit. And then I started like really looking at the world differently. My mom started investing with this guy in rental properties and stuff. And then she asked me whenever I was around, hey, could you go check on this home or whatever with this guy? And then when I started seeing her and I started talking to this guy about how they do it and stuff,
I could do this.
That's when I'm like, this seems like a real,
this
is a get out of jail for free card. This is like, if I set myself up right, I won't have to work for anyone. So to me, that was the light at the end of the tunnel.
Passive income.
To me, if I can get this passive income, then I can just be the comedian and artist that I want to be and not have to worry about whatever. And then that was it. But because I was, like I said, living with my mom after the Marine Corps, mm-hmm, I was working at Detroit Diesel making good ass fucking money. And then before they laid me off, I just had stacks of cash sitting in the bank, bro. And then just right at the right time, the fucking market crashed in 2008, 2007. And homes went from $200,000 to $25,000.
And you started picking them up.
And I was just like, this is like a game of Monopoly, bro. Yep. And then to me, it's like, I can buy a house for $25,000. Listen to me, $25,000, right? It only takes $5,000 to renovate, to get it to rental status, right? Then I rent it out, and the rent never dropped. So when homes were $200,000, rent was, let's say, $800 or $700 a month. And then when homes went down to $30,000, rent went up to $50 more a month. And I'm like, why wouldn't I do this?
It's simple math.
It's simple math.
Simple math.
And then I made a couple of mistakes.
Yeah, but that's,
kind of cost myself money.
That's par for the course.
A home got stolen from me.
Wow.
Yeah, I made a couple of fucking mistakes, man. But then
But that's the shit. Like when people talk about like generational success, right? Like the Jewish community is incredible at it.
Yeah.
They're just incredible at it.
Because a lot of it comes from they understand their history is so tumultuous. Everyone is fucking with them, and they had to, like you said, get ahead of it.
Yep. You have to outrun it. But that's what's so interesting, like even about like the Jewish culture is they keep everything within their community. They help each other. And that's how they succeed. I'll never forget, I was with my mom, and she said, I have to go do this bridal appointment at this customer's house. She's like, would you take a ride with me? So I was like, yeah, let's go. Beautiful home in New York. Pull up, walk in, very nice people. My mom is doing the appointment with the wife, and the husband, it was their daughter's wedding that they were getting stuff for or whatever. So the husband says, oh, come on in. We're just having some food. You can have whatever, you know. So I'm sitting there with this, I don't know, this guy was probably in his 60s, heart surgeon at like top heart surgeon in New York. So I'm sitting there and we're just having like, you know, casual conversation. Then his grandkids who are like all 12 and 13 start coming in, and they're sitting at the table. And he starts to talk to them like adults. And I'm just watching this, Mike, and I'm like, this is why this group of people has become so successful. He's asking them, how are your grades?
Sure.
What are you doing in school?
Sure.
What do you want to do? What do you want to go to high school? How do you like this? Do you like math? How you doing? And they're talking back to him, like rattling it off. They're like, oh, I got a 95 and such and such. And those are the groups that when those kids go to high school and then they go to college or wherever and they get out of wherever they're going, they turn to guys like that and go, I want to be in finance. And he's like, oh, I know the so-and-so at JP Morgan. And it's connect. That's why groups like that just continuously succeed, and they get it's generational wealth. It's because it's
it's not only money; it's also information.
It's everything.
The wealth also comes in information.
Yep.
It's teaching them the mistakes you made.
Yep.
Like the saying that I really like is like that says what it says. It says a wise man learns from his mistakes. A genius learns from the mistakes of others. So if you're a real good parent, your job is to give them the roadmap.
Yeah.
These are the mistakes I've made. Here's the shortcut.
Yeah.
You know?
And that was the great thing about my mom. My mom didn't have like that, you know, she wasn't a really highly educated. She just had a really good sense of business.
Yeah.
So she
Which
had
is a form of education.
Yeah.
It's a form of intelligence.
She knew how to connect with somebody.
Sure.
She was the type of person, she'd walk in a room and everybody would know who she is in 20 minutes. She knew who everybody was doing. This was that. Oh yeah, you're in that business. I know I can I can get recommended in your place, but I can introduce you to so-and-so.
She can connect the dots quick.
Dude, it was
She
incredible.
could figure out what people want.
Incredible.
She would know how to like upsell something because she knows she's not fucking them over. She's actually figuring them out and going, you know what? You want this too.
Yep.
And then they'd be like, hell yeah.
She had people in the wedding business coming to her and they were like, hey, can you get me into so-and-so? Like, you know, it's a big thing recommending in that wedding business. Like, can you get me recommended in this catering hall? Because she already had it in there. And she was like, yeah, but I'm going to come set up a display in your spot. And they were like, yeah, just come. Just set
nice.
up. And my mom just knew how to like, you know.
She's
it
good
was
people.
Yeah.
And she's a good business person.
And she was smart about it. And
because she's probably a business person that comes from a genuine place. You can meet business people like that. They come from such a genuine place. You always want to do business with them.
Oh, yep.
Do you know what I mean?
My uncle is the same way, who I do my embroidery business with. He's the best. Somebody will walk in and he'll go, yeah, your shirts are going to be $17 a shirt. And they go, oh, can you do better? And he goes, yes, 19. And they're like, what do you mean? He goes, I'm going to do better for me. Why is it always got to be for you?
Yeah, that's funny.
And it's just like,
funny.
And they go, all right, no problem. And order more.
Yeah.
Or he'll like take a t-shirt from them and he goes, I don't want to do 24 t-shirts for you. I can't make no money. And they go, I'll do 60. And he's like, yeah, do 60. And but it's just genuine.
It's genuine. I know what you mean,
and
man.
when you're not chasing it, it comes to you.
Right.
You know?
Right. And you know, he's using a very good, smart tactic to make people feel good about giving them more money.
Best.
It's so smart.
It's the best.
Some people have that knack, bro.
It's unbelievable. I've seen him.
I love people like that.
The way he talks sometimes, like he has like black customers that come in, and he's so friendly with them that they come in and
What?
he goes, don't shoot. And they laugh at him.
No shit.
And then they give him like a $6,000 order. I go, you're the only guy that can get away with this.
But I think some people can get away with it. Some people can't.
They can't.
Some people try. You try to do that, and you make it awkward. You're like, what the fuck was that, bro?
But it's so endearing.
Yeah.
It's just this like.
That's because he's not coming from that place. He's coming from a genuine like, I love you,
But that's
But
what
I'm gonna make a joke.
But I think that's what the comedy, when you ball break people and you
Yeah.
make fun of people,
Yeah.
people know where that shit's coming from.
Sure.
They know. They know, like, oh, this guy's a piece of shit. He's taking a real fucking shot at me.
Yeah.
But, like, whenever I feel like I'm doing that, it's always coming from a good place.
That's why your comedy works when you fucking like tear into people. Because a lot of people can tell it's coming from a place of love.
I have there's no ill
Even though
will.
you're coming at them like hard and fucking
Hard, and
whatever.
it sounds serious.
Yeah, it does
But
sound serious.
you can tell I got love going on
Yeah,
there. Like,
but the thing is, it sounds serious, but yet at the same time, man, you're doing it from a place of comedy and love. So your inflections are funny, right? And your body language is funny. Because like, listen, when I do stand up, man, the times that I actually do good, where I'm like, dude, I really knocked it out the park on that one. The audience was fucking great. I hit all the fucking. When you watch that video, I'm having so much fun and I'm feeling so much of the love that even my harshest jokes seem cuter now because of my energy.
They're
my
bought
energy
into you.
But now I'm into it.
Yep.
So like when I'm saying it with more enthusiasm. I got a different body language. I got a different energy. And then sometimes I'm telling a joke that's so fucking dark. But when I watch that video, I'm like, that's what I got to recreate.
Yeah.
You got to love the audience.
Yep.
And that shit just shines through you. And that's the same thing as your boy saying something terrible or something. But you can see that it's coming from a funny place.
You can see it in people's eyes.
Yeah.
You know, like you can tell, because there's people that'll say shit to people and you're like, damn, man, like it gets weird.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I'm like that if I'm too high.
you know,
If I'm too high, I'll miss the mark. I'll miss the mark. And then I'm too high and paranoid to fix it.
but I think that's the art of that. You know, like if you're going to do crowd work like that, you got to be able to do it. You got to hit him, but also give him a little bit of that sugar.
Yeah.
And be like, because that's a very fine line too. Like, because people can go, ah, man, this guy's a douche.
Sometimes sometimes I'll dig into someone, and then if I hit it a little too fucking hard, I will acknowledge how I'm that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You got to turn it on you.
Because a lot of the times it is. A lot of
Yeah.
times if I'm fucking like whatever,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? Like this one guy in the audience in Seattle, he was with a girl, right? And it was one of those where they're not dating, but you could tell he wants to, right? So then I was like, "Hey man, what's going on, bro?" I'm like, and he's like, "Is that your girl?" And then she's like, "No." She like right away goes, and the crowd like got into it. I was like, "Damn, bro." And then whatever, and then he tells me he likes playing video games. I go, well, there you fucking go, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
And then everyone started fucking laughing again. But then I saw his fucking face, and I'm like, bro, relax, man. I gave him a high five. I was like, bro, I love video games too. I don't have a girlfriend. And then that made the fucking crap. Because then it was just like, I brought it back on myself.
It's you threw it back with the self-deprecation.
You know?
Yeah, I know. It's just, but that's what's, I don't know. That's what's funny about like just being from that side of the country, and you know that so well, is that we fucking talk to each other. There's no boundaries. There's no boundaries.
It's not that side of the country. My family's like that overseas, bro.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. But
my
like,
mom and my sister, her sister, bro, just roast fest.
All day.
Like, they never, ever, Gary, they never say, I love you. They never. I've never seen my mom tell her sister or her brother, sister, I love you.
Right.
It's always a fucking dig,
Yep.
whatever. Because why? They already know.
Yes. It's an
They
unspoken
already
thing.
know, yeah.
Now we're just going to make fun of each other.
Bro, it's
and we show up
harsh.
for each other. Yep. I know.
Is your family like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have a really amazing relationship with my brother and my sister. Like, we're very close. But yeah, we make fun of each other all day. I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, I feel like that's just a way of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
some people it's not. I mean, you meet people, not just saying out here, but they take everything, boom, right to the heart. It's so literal. And you're like, oh my God, you got to know who you can fuck with.
I know, it's so weird.
Because you go,
I never realized that when I first moved out here. That's
Yeah.
when it hit me. I was like, like I remember this one girl. Like I was only here 2 weeks, and we're talking. I'm just talking the way I talk.
Yeah.
And she's like holding her arm like this, kind of like, like, because like almost like there's heat coming from me or whatever.
Right. She's terrified.
And then she's like, "Why are you so aggro?" No, hold on a second. This is like 2012, and I'm like, "Why am I what?" I'm like, "What's this, agriculture? What are you talking about?" She goes, "Aggressive."
Oh my God,
bro, that made me mad. I go, "Don't say aggro, just say aggressive."
I know.
But then I was like, I wasn't being like aggressive. I was just talking. But yeah, that energy out here. And then if I go out back east or if I'm back in Detroit, man, because I've been out here for so long, I forget what it used to be like in Detroit. I went into an auto parts store. I had to get a foot pump because my Supra that was in my mom's garage had a flat, and I had to pump it back up with a foot pump. That was the cheapest way to do it. And I knew that a foot pump would work.
A Supra?
Yeah.
Nice. Look at you.
I know. I still got to figure out what I'm going to do with it. But listen, so I go into the auto parts store, and I tell the guy, there's a black guy behind the counter, right? And then I was like, hey, man, I got a car in the garage right now, and it's got a flat, and I can't drive it out, and I need to get the air up. I need a foot pump. No, you can't do it a foot pump. I was like, yeah, you can. No, you can't. I was like, yes, you can. Oh, hell no. But he was at me with this energy that I thought I was going to get into a fight. Right. And I had to like remind myself, like, bro, you've been in LA too long, bro. This is just normal.
That's just normal.
He's not even mad at me. And then when I finally pointed out that you could do it, and then all of a sudden he was like, damn, I didn't even fucking know that shit. You know? Dude. But the point was he came at me with this energy like that, but his actual intention was, I'm just trying to help you out, bro.
That's it.
I don't think you can do that.
That tone, yeah, you get used to it out here.
I know.
Where it's so different. I mean, that's so funny you say that. Like, I used to work in an office in New York, right? And I'll never forget, there was the janitor this guy was the best. Carl the janitor. And I'm working at this place. Carl the janitor. Yeah. I'm working at this place for literally a week. Yeah. And I'm in the bathroom. I'm in the stall. Yeah. And he's in there. He used to mop the floor with no water. Carl was a janitor, but he was just putting in time. And he would just be in there like, just mopping the floor. I was like, Carl, you don't even use water. I don't even know what you're mopping right now, right?
Yeah. He's just going through the motions.
And I just hear him, and he had this like very gruff, salt of the earth type of guy, but street as it comes. Yeah. And he'd be like, Gary, let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. You bet on football? And I go, nah, not really. He goes, okay. Mm-hmm. Then he goes, you smoke weed? I go, nah, I don't really smoke that. You know, not my thing. And he goes, okay. And then he goes, but Gary, let me tell you something. You ever have an itch? I could scratch it for you. I go, oh my, and I'm in the fucking stall. I'm in the stall of this bathroom, Mike. Right? And then I come out and I'm laughing because he's dead serious. Like, he was the office pot dealer. He was the office bookie.
Shit.
He would just like roll up to someone's desk and slide the door open and put a little ounce of weed in there and shit.
That's hilarious.
And he was just like, Uncle Carly took care of you.
That's awesome.
And he was fucking hilarious. And so then I'm standing at the sink and he just looks at me. He's got the mop in his hand. He goes, Gary, at least tell me this. Do you eat pussy? And I go, what the fuck is going on here? And he goes, just making sure you're not gay. And I go, oh my God. These are the types of people you find on the East Coast, bro. Or like just on that side of the world, Detroit and stuff, that you go,
I know.
They wouldn't even know how to exist out here.
No.
Because I just took it. I was like, this is the best fucking, like, I'm in the bathroom for 10 minutes. Yeah. And I had basically an interview with the janitor who asked me if I'm a drug user, a gambler, and if I ate pussy.
Oh, shit.
And I was just like, Carl, you're the best. And he would just, oh, my God, salt of the earth.
You want to talk about salt of the earth people? This reminds me, when you told that story, man, about being in a stall. There's a guy that I know who became a sheriff in Detroit. I didn't know his brother, but I knew the guy. But his brother is just this bigger, oafier version of the brother that I know.
Right.
And the guy joins the police department, and we're like, he's a cop. He's such a klutz.
Right.
He's a fucking idiot. Right. And he wasn't even on the force no more than like fucking 1 month, bro. He's in Greektown in downtown Detroit. He gets diarrhea. He runs into the fucking restaurant, the little Greek restaurant. And it's a pizza, but was it Populous? What was it? I forget. But it's a Detroit pizza spot in downtown in Greektown. He goes in the fucking bathroom to take a shit. He takes his fucking shit, right? He fucking cuts it down. And as he's taking the shit, some hand comes down and grabs his gun and takes it. And he couldn't get up because he's still fucking shitting.
How amazing.
How hilarious. That is so Detroit,
It's
bro.
amazing.
I fucking love it, man.
This is the shit.
And then
man.
he's not a cop anymore, obviously,
I know.
bro. It's like you put your whole belt and everything on the fucking floor.
You can't
In Detroit?
You can't write this shit, Mike.
For sure somebody came in.
This is what's funny.
They didn't even. In my mind.
This is what's funny.
In my mind, bro. I wish that it was like oh shit, did I fuck up the? Oh no.
Did you fuck it up, Mike?
I don't know.
The recording?
Can you guys still hear me? Please let me know if you can or not. Yeah, I think it's good. To me, I just wish.
This is the funniest shit.
To me, what I want to see, like in my mind, that the hand just came in there like very calm and it was just like
amazing. It's the best. He took his fucking gun. It's incredible. Dude, I'm telling you that this is the same thing. I keep going back to this guy called the janitor, but he stops by. I'm at my desk one day and he stops by and he goes, "Gary, did I ever tell you about the time I had to go to Rikers Island jail?" And I go, "No, Carl." I go, "What are you telling me?" And he goes, "Gary, let me tell you something. I went down into the subway and I hopped the turnstile and a cop saw me. And he comes over to me and he goes to arrest me and he arrested me not for hopping the turnstile, but because I had an outstanding ticket I didn't pay for public urination, Gary." And he goes, "So they brought me to Rikers Island." And he goes, I'm on the phone with my mother. And she goes, "Carl, I'm going to bail you out." And he goes, "Mom, don't bother. I'm only going to be here another 24 hours. Save the $2,000. The hot dogs are good." The
hot dogs are good.
Then he goes,
the hot dogs
in jail. I go, "Carl, the hot dogs were good in jail?" He goes, "Gary, the best fucking hot dogs." He goes, "But they load them up with shit for you to go to sleep so you don't fight."
No,
Like,
I don't think that's true.
This is what he's telling me.
This is hilarious.
So he goes, he goes, "I got out of jail." He goes, "I couldn't wait to go back and get the hot dogs." I go, "Carl, you're out of your fucking..." Like, but these are the characters
bro.
that you just go, you can't dream them. People out here, when they want to talk to each other, they email each other.
Yeah.
I'm like, fucking pick up the fucking phone. It's your family.
But you like it out here.
I love the weather.
I love the weather too, bro.
What am I going to do? Where am I going to go? Where am I going to go?
But don't you miss the people?
I miss the people every day.
You know?
Mike, I can't...
The
Listen,
people here, listen, man, you can find your tribe out
I'm not
here.
trying to shit on LA. I'm not trying to shit on LA. But the truth of the matter is, it's a different fucking pace where we come from.
Yeah.
It's a different way of talking to each other.
Yeah.
It's just quick, fast,
Yeah.
on the move.
Yeah.
And I like walking. I love walking cities.
I love walking too. But I mean, and New York is a walking city, though.
That's what I'm saying. I love that.
Oh.
I love seeing the people. I love
But this is not a walking city, though.
No, it's not. You got to get in your car and go everywhere.
You can walk. I mean,
can,
I
but it's
see
not
you
the same.
walking in the
we're the
same
only ones that
neighborhood.
walk. We're the only ones that walk. We bump into each other unintentionally
It's true.
because we're the only ones out here that are actually going out. Because we're just.
But this is a nice place to walk.
It's a beautiful place to walk.
You know?
The
The
weather's
palm
always
trees.
nice. The palm trees.
Palm trees are so nice. When you're from the East Coast, the palm trees never get old. I don't know about you, but they
don't.
never get old.
They don't.
Because I remember when I used to live in Detroit, I would have to fly somewhere
Yep.
to look at a palm tree. And I would just be happy to be I'm going to sit here and just look at that palm tree. The palm tree's here.
When I was a kid, we went to two places on vacation.
Yeah.
We went to Montauk, which was 60 miles east of where we grew up, at the end of the Hamptons.
Okay. So
Okay.
it's like a rich place.
Yeah, I guess you could call it, but everybody goes out there. We would go out there, right? And then when my mom bought us new shirts, T-shirts, and socks, I knew we were going to Disney World. And we did that maybe like every 6-7 years. So those are the only two places that we went. And I remember...
Where was the other one?
Disney World.
Okay, Disney World in Florida, right? Orlando.
And
We
I'll
used to
never
do that.
forget landing, when you left New York and you landed in Florida, it might as well have been the most exotic place you've ever been to.
I know.
You're looking at palm, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah. Lush.
Sun.
Beautiful.
It's it's cold at home, and you just went down to 75, 80 degree weather.
But it rains for like a half hour in the middle of the
you're
day,
back out.
and then it's back out
You're
again.
back
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
No, I know. You just feel like sometimes when I talk to the people at home,
Yeah.
and it's fucking 10 degrees there, and I'm just sitting outside smoking a cigar, and it's
know.
fucking 85.
I know.
I go, how can I ever go back there?
I know.
As much as I love them,
I know.
I don't love them that much.
I know. You're right.
Mike,
You're 100% right. You nailed it. I mean, I look at
That's why California knows they got everybody by the balls.
yeah. The taxes are through the roof.
Yeah.
The state tax is too much.
You fucking have to pay an arm and a leg to live anywhere.
But I'm happy you're here.
Yes.
I need the sun, man.
Mike, I saw you this morning.
Yeah.
You were cleaning the crust out of your eyes.
Yeah, I just woke up.
And you go,
That's right.
and you're just standing there in a fucking t-shirt in February.
Yes.
If this was Detroit,
Yeah.
you'd already be angry by that part of the morning.
I'd be here. I'd be here, bro.
Do you think you can move back full time?
Bro, my goal is to never go back.
Never go back.
Never. I don't ever want to go back to Michigan, period.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like cold weather.
I hate it.
I don't like the winter, man. The snows make me fucking depressed.
It's the worst.
At the height of the winter time, the sun in Michigan goes down at 3:30.
3:34. Same in New York.
3:34. Then late at night, though, we have a longer because we're a little bit higher up than you.
Same in New York, though.
Because we're a little bit higher, but at the summer solstice, the sun don't go down until
8:30?
no, 9:45 for
Okay.
us. Yeah, it's
So,
an
yeah.
extra hour.
So that's
And if you're doing Ramadan during the summer
Right.
solstice, bro, I'm serious.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, because every year it goes back a month. So when it's in the winter time, it's great. You wake up, you're fasting for an hour, and then you're eating. You know what I'm saying? But then in the summertime, the sun goes up at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And it doesn't go down till like 9:45, bro.
I know.
So, but to me, New York is different, bro. New York is, the weather sucks, but it's New York.
It is.
In Detroit, it sucks, but then you're in Detroit, bro. Detroit, no matter how much better it's getting now, it's getting a lot better and stuff like that. It's still fucking, it's just not like a place like New York or here.
No.
So to me, if I had to move back to New York, that doesn't seem like I'm losing. If I had to move back to Detroit, I've lost.
You mean you feel like you're going backwards?
I fucked up.
Yeah, fuck that.
Because to me, I'd rather live somewhere tropical. I bought land in Bali.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 2015.
How the fuck do you even go about that?
Well, I have family
Zillow? What do you go? What the fuck is that?
I have family that live there, so I put it on their
The
name.
smart ones are in the Asian countries. Okay.
Yeah. So then, I was there for 2 months, 2 straight months, and then because I speak the language a little bit.
Really?
So I just got a bunch of locals to show me places that were being sold, and it was very stressful and a lot of fucking lying and weird shit, bro. But then I ended up being lucky enough to get a sliver of small land. It's not too big, but it's in a very gentrified area, bro.
Okay.
It's practically Santa Monica there.
Right.
Now, you know what I mean? And it's like a 5-minute moped ride to the main beach.
Wow.
So, but it's just land, and I'm trying to find time to build on it. It's hard because you got to like stay there and watch the people.
So you want to build something to rent it?
Yeah. Build something to rent, and then have a spot for me to go there anytime I want to.
Right. So you can go there, hang out, and then rent it, like Airbnb it.
Airbnb it.
Yeah.
Do like long-term rentals. If I can get like an agent that I can trust, do short-term rentals because you make more money that way. But then, I wouldn't mind doing 3-month, 1-year rentals, and then like try to strategically place it to where when it's open, I can go there and have it for the time that I want.
Couple weeks, a month.
Because whenever I go to Bali, bro, it's just so relaxing, bro.
Yeah. I mean, that's a different
And
world.
I've been going there since I was 5 years old.
Really?
Yeah, because my family's out there.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I've been going to Indonesia since I was 5, man.
So it's like a second home to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude.
It's a second home, and I don't look like anything like the people, but I speak the language.
This is fascinating.
Yeah, it blows their minds
I
away.
had no idea. You're all over the map. Dearborn, Michigan, L.A.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, bro. That voice that you do, bro, you should do a character.
Carl.
Yeah.
Carl.
Carl,
I used to do the joke about that. I used to tell a joke about
Hold on.
like,
I want Carl to give me, can Carl give us some advice over some music right now?
Ooh. This is your Uncle Carly. Listen to me. When you get a custom tailored suit, don't just get the actual fabric. Get the skin of the animal it's made from. Tips from Uncle Carly.
Uncle Carly, what's the best way to approach a woman that you find attractive on the street?
Easy. You throw them in the back of a van, and then they never hear from their family again. Uncle Carly is there. Family.
Women like that, apparently.
Absolutely.
Do you think these days?
Fuck am I doing?
Do you think these days that men are like too soft and they don't realize that women crave a little violence now and then?
Absolutely. It shows you who's in charge. Absolutely. Oh my God. He was the best. He got sick. I don't know if he's how he's doing now, but Uncle Carly is. He's I'll never forget. He was wearing came out of the office building one day. It was a Friday. He couldn't be happy to be leaving the place. Now Carly, I'll show you a picture of him. Carl's probably like 300 plus pounds at the time, and he's wearing a New York Knicks jersey that looked like it was painted on him.
It was like that tight?
It was that tight.
What the fuck? Is he fat?
He's 300 and something pounds.
Jesus.
Right? And I'll never forget, he fell into a pothole in the street, and he hurt his leg pretty bad, and he just comes in. We worked in an insurance office, and he was just asking everybody in insurance how much he thought they can get for that claim. And he's like, Gary, I think I'm going to get like $500,000. I can fucking get the fuck out of here. I go, something's telling me you threw yourself in that pothole.
Something tells me you dug that pothole up and then threw yourself in that pothole.
Oh, my God. But, yeah, so. A lot of good shit here, Mike. Rental properties. That's where it's at.
You got rental properties?
I'm working on it.
Out here? You trying to get something out here?
Yeah.
Oh, you got that money.
I'm trying. We're saying. We're trying.
I'm worried about rental properties here.
Why?
Liberal states typically have ridiculous squatters' rights.
Yeah.
And if you get somebody in there that really wants to screw you, they can.
Yep.
I have a couple of tenants right now reaming me by using the government, and they haven't paid in a year.
Here?
In Detroit.
Oh, in Detroit.
Yeah. Same thing.
Well,
and then like you go to places like Texas, if you get on day 5 as a landlord, you're legally allowed to change all the locks in the house.
Wow.
Because it forces a negotiation.
Wow.
And then if they don't pay by day 30, the government yanks them out.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
I'm afraid to rent out here.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the only thing that you can really do is do really good checks, credit checks and background checks. And then I guess if the rent is at a certain level too, you know who you're kind of getting to, you know, like if you're getting good people, professional people, you know, I feel like you probably run, you know, you have a better chance of not having that.
Put it down a little bit because I'm covering your face there. A little bit down there. There you go.
Am I all right?
Yeah, kind of.
I think you're gonna get.
There you go.
You know, you can't have. You got to do your homework on who's renting from you. But
I do too, man. But well, actually, the last 2 tenants that I have that are giving me problems right now was when I let my property manager place them without me screening them because I was too busy.
yeah, you got to do that.
Bro, my 15 years plus doing this stuff, man, I've never had to evict anyone until I let this fucking.
You're gonna get one. You're gonna get one.
Yeah, but it took 13 years for me to never have it, and it wasn't until I was like, hey, this one manager who I didn't realize was probably had Down syndrome, just didn't know what he was doing. He placed the 3 tenants that he placed were the ones that just ruined everything. Bro.
Yeah.
Fucked up the entire
He
operation.
just rented it to anyone.
Yeah, he's just not a good read on people. You know, like me and you, we're good read on people.
Yeah.
I can pretty much tell if you're a piece of shit from across the street.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or like if somebody tries to do, come on, I'm like, oh, that right away, I don't want you here.
But I think if you can get, like, because you've been smart with the real estate thing, but I think if you can get yourself into, you know, a property and hold on to it for a little while and then get yourself into another one.
Out here, I went on a
you
date.
do 1031 exchanges
I
and
do
shit
that.
like that.
I do that
all the time.
I do that all
until
the
they
time.
do away with that. They'll probably end up taking that away from
The
everybody.
Democrats have always been trying to knock it off.
But that's a great, you know.
Well, now it's making it harder for smaller rental people because the Democrats lowered the limit for the 1031 exchange, I think up to max of $500,000, which they don't understand is just fucking the little guy like me. Because now what you're doing is you're forcing those real estate people that were able to leverage the 1031 exchange at such high amounts to now they're going to sell off their big assets.
Yep.
And then they're just going to go down to the smaller markets and then just accumulate multiple homes at under 500,000 so that they can keep doing the 1031 exchange. And then they're going to bring their big shark money into my little pond and now they're going to buy me out. You know?
Right.
I mean, they're already doing this whole thing about, did you hear that there was that one commercial or ad where they're trying to get people to realize that owning nothing in the future is actually nice? So basically these people are trying to gobble up everything and then they're trying to brainwash everyone. You'll be happier not having to own anything.
Fucking fucked.
But it's gonna work.
Yeah, of course.
It's definitely gonna work.
But I also think, you know, like
And it pisses me off.
from like our perspective, like you asked me about investing out here and, you know, it being a liberal state. The only thing that you have going for you out here is that no matter what, no matter how many people are leaving LA or California for that matter, just as many are coming in.
That's true.
And people.
But how long is that gonna last?
I you know what, Mike? I don't know that goes away because I think people love being
if those
on
fires
coasts.
make it down here.
I think people love being on the coasts, and there's opportunity, and the entertainment business holds people here, and there's a lot of jobs.
That's being
you know.
fragmented though.
Yeah.
The as the future goes
But it's still
on,
it's
entertainment's going to be more fragmented. More and more people are going to be able to do it wherever they want to do it now. And I don't know if this
the
is
weather.
The weather's everything. Bro.
I'm telling you, it's holding people.
This place is not supposed to exist. We have
I
to
know.
pump water from
Yes,
other places to
I know.
fucking have people live here.
But this is the reality. I just think, and you're seeing it, like you see people paying rents for areas that are 10, 15 years ago were considered horrible areas. They're paying $6,500 for 3-bedroom homes.
I know.
And you're like, and that's only gonna continue.
You know,
It's not going the other way.
this is the mindset I have about that, right? I went on a date with this girl one time. She's a Moroccan real estate agent, and she's also an investor. She gave me, I think, the best plan. She was like, do you really want to have more problems, more rental properties, more problems? You got to place the tenants, and then when they leave, you got to clean the place up, and you got to paint them, and fix the whatever, and chase the deposits, and if people don't pay and whatever. She goes, or, and this is, I think, the best strategy, buy a house that you can flip and sell a house a year.
Well, I think there's two different sides to that, because there are people who do that very successfully.
Yeah.
Where they'll go and buy a house, put in X amount of dollars, and flip it. But the only thing with that is that let's just say that the renovations on that take you 6-7 months, like whatever you're buying, who knows, but with the way appliances are coming in now, and you got to wait for this and you got to wait for that. Permits,
how slow the government is.
all of that, right?
Yeah.
And then, so you're not getting any money coming in.
Not yet.
You may have to wait a year and a half before that sells.
You've already paid the property taxes.
You're carrying all the cost on it, insurance, taxes. You have all the carrying costs. Whereas if you bought a rental property and you had someone in there, day one, you're getting a check. Day one.
I know, dude.
You're
preaching to the choir.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, the flip thing is really good if you can wait for your money and be willing to put it out.
I mean, if I could turn over, let's say, 300,000 some odd profit at end of a year or more, that's worth it to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it would at least allow me to be able to, because to me, bro, I'm having a hard time getting back into real estate at the frequency that I was, because now the business of stand-up is coming in.
Right.
So now I'm looking for venues. I'm trying to sell
Right,
tickets.
right.
I'm trying to whatever. And I'm doing it all by myself, making my own posters. And I'm hiring other people to do certain things. But, man, dude, it's like, do I have time to deal more rental properties, man? And then, I think your return on your investment out here ain't going to be that high in the rent. I think your return on your investment is higher when you decide to sell the home.
Yeah, your equity.
Exactly.
Yeah, long term.
And Detroit, man, the window's closed on that, man. Finding a home for $30,000, $40,000, it's just almost impossible now.
Right. So you did good.
And yeah, so that was easy. You buy a home for $30,000,
Now it's
rent
worth
it
80,
out.
90, 100.
Yes.
Yep.
Some of them even
And
went
you're still
higher.
getting the rent.
And I'm still getting the rent. And but the return on your investment on there is so much higher.
Yeah.
So, $30,000, you make $1,000 a month. That's a huge return on your investment. You know what I mean? Even with all the expenses, you're probably close to 13, 15% ROI. That's huge.
Right.
It's a big return.
Yeah.
Out here, your returns are maybe 1-2%.
Yeah.
But if you bought a really good house, the idea is in 5 years, you probably sell that for $500,000.
Well, then you get a lot of people who are doing interest only loans, and they're smart with it. They're just paying the interest, and then they got a 10-year term on that. Right. And then once they get to the 10 years, they sell the property or whatever. They give the bank back their money. They make a little bit here, but they're making good money on the rent. Like, let's just say their mortgage is, you know, $3,500, $4,000, but they're getting $8,000 a month in rent on something. You know,
I might have to look into it because the prices have went down.
Yeah, well,
I was talking to a real estate agent who she used to manage the Laugh Factory, and I saw her the other day, and she was like, "Yeah, in some places, man, some of the homes went back down to like 700.
Yeah, everything came back to reality
because of the interest rates.
Yeah, that and just that whole boom of 2020, where the interest rates were what, nothing.
I wish I had something to sell then.
So crazy, and then they went up to what, like 7.25. That's
I think
recently,
so.
and now they're back down to like 5, a little over 5.5.
Yeah.
You know, so and that's going to come down, which is going to get more people going after these properties.
Are you looking right now?
Yeah.
You got an agent?
Yes.
Have you actually looked at the houses?
Mm-hmm.
How much are they going for, like around?
I mean, it all depends. I mean, there's houses, you know, anywhere between $1 million, $1.3 million, $1.4 million. You know, but that's like, you know, depending upon where you're looking.
Where are you looking?
So, kind of like over, you know where Lamert Park is?
Mm-mm. Kind of, yeah.
It's like over, where is it? It's not that far down off of Beverly.
Okay.
It's like near Jefferson and down and further over there.
On the east side?
Is that the east side? I don't even know what it's considered. I never know where I am out here.
Me neither.
But it's closer to downtown.
But those millions, man, I'm fucking, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But just looking, you know, like, just trying to understand like what's going on over there. But you know, those houses, someone was telling me 10 years ago somebody bought a house over there for 5.25. It's now worth $1.2 million.
How long ago?
10 years ago.
Yeah, that's good.
It's crazy.
That is good.
You know.
Shit, bro. I just have a hard time doing too much, buddy.
And they're just gentrifying all of that shit, and you know, the Olympics is coming, and they're trying to build it up, and
I gotta hop on it, bro.
You know, it's crazy.
It's just the idea of having a mortgage for $1 million something.
I know.
Is just scares the fuck out of me.
But if you got a renter paying that, covering that,
I know.
And you're making a little bit of money every month, and you're getting the equity in the house.
It's the turnovers that drive me crazy.
Yeah.
It's like you want to get somebody that's going to be there for a while.
Yeah.
But usually, for me, the longest people stay is like 6 years.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people say one of the interesting things is like a traveling nurse program.
Yes, that's right. Somebody told me about that shit.
And I don't know anything about it, but
that's something that you can do too. But you got to buy stuff that's kind of close to a hospital.
And it has to be furnished.
And furnished.
Because they need to just be
boom in.
Right in. They're not. You know, they're going to be there for a 4-month period, and whatever the rent is, they take care of it, and they're hardly ever there.
I got nurse friends. I should hit them up.
Yeah, traveling nurse program. I heard that. I don't know how, you know, true that is.
No, it is true. A lot of people told me about this. This is multiple people.
Yeah.
I think Willie Mack's doing that too, because you know he's into real estate.
Yeah.
So he got a TV show.
Yeah.
You know where he does it.
He's like flipping, right? Him and his brother.
Yeah.
Renovating and flipping.
It's called This Flipping Family.
Yeah.
You know, I think is what it's called.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's lucky, man. He's got his brother down there that does the work. I wish I had a brother that was in Detroit because I would just expand faster.
Is that where he is?
He's St. Louis.
St. Louis. Okay.
Which is pretty much Detroit.
Yeah.
You know,
same thing.
same thing, bro. All right, bro. You want to? So let's end this, man.
All right, kid.
This was fun, bro.
Awesome.
I love especially talking about that shit earlier with the whole allowing your kids to stay at home, because I'm trying to come up with a bit about that. That's so funny that you brought that up, because that's exactly what it is. Like if white people in this country would start practicing that, any money they'd be you're gonna start seeing like 19-year-old kids with cars that they don't deserve driving.
I had a buddy that was living in his parents' like 8,000 square foot
Thank you,
house.
Bolty.
I had a parent that was living in his like 8,000 square foot house. He had this like, he was driving a Lexus and whatever. He just stashing money for 10 years.
Yeah, but that's stupid though. He bought a car.
Yeah, but he also bought some properties.
That's okay.
Yeah.
See,
but I'm just saying, like, that's like just culturally.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. It's just, it's fucking. But it's also smart if you're gonna do the right thing.
Yeah.
Like if my kid, if I was in that position and my kid was staying in the house until that long and he was doing the right thing, I wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, whatever. If I can set you up and give you a little bit of an edge.
But it's so funny how, like, in American culture, white Americans and even some black Americans,
They think it's over at 18. They go, I raised my kid.
get the fuck out of here. I did my job.
You're off to college. They're like out of the house. And I'm like, I don't know that.
And then it's like, it's sad too, because like you send a kid out to go fend for himself at 18 or even 20, 22. Man, I haven't figured shit out at that time.
Well, Mike, think about how fucked up the way life is, right? The kids today are being preached to. How long was it go to college? The only way you can actually be somebody is if you go to college.
My dad would tell me that.
But that's what I'm saying. And we were programmed as a society to be like, you got to go to school. You got to get this.
You got to get a job.
By the book job.
Right.
And you work your way up the ladder and you spend 10 fucking years, right? But we set kids up for failure.
Yeah.
Like these kids are coming out of these schools with fucking $400,000 worth of debt.
Yeah.
And they're getting $50,000 a year starting jobs.
Yeah.
But then they're also kicked to the curb because their parents were
It's like slavery.
Yeah.
It's like being shackled.
So now they live in
financially shackled.
They live in LA. They pay $2,000, $2,500 a month.
They got
a car. They got student loans. Then they go, I'm going out on a date. They're in fucking debt for 60 years.
Yeah. And then how dumb is it in America? They brainwashed us to be like, work really hard. Hold on a second. Save all your money so that when you turn 65, when you can barely have the energy to want to do anything else, that's when you retire. It's like, motherfucker,
Social Security's gone.
If I had kids, bro, with what I know and how my family, I would make sure that when my kid I want him to save his money, her money, right? And I want you to be able to start thinking about what you're going to do with that money in the future. And then I also want you to travel.
Yes.
And I also want you to understand that, like, you should take mini retirements. You should get yourself to a financial freedom that by the time you get to your late 30s, you should be able to take what Tim Ferriss calls in his book, The 4-Hour Work Week, which I think everyone should fucking read. He talks that instead of taking one long, dumb retirement that America sets you up for in your 60s when you're too old to do shit, do miniature retirements. Yep. Do these sabbaticals, right? When you're fucking young enough to be able to climb the temples of Bali.
Go away for 2 months.
I've done that. And I'm so glad I fucking did that shit.
Smart.
And now when I think about myself doing that in my 60s, no, dude. That's why I don't travel in America.
95% of Americans and everybody in this country is sold a fucking bill of goods.
Yeah.
They're sold. It's all bullshit.
It's all bullshit. You know, American breakfast is bullshit? Did you know that?
I don't know. I like a ham and egg.
No, I know that. But did you know that was programmed to us?
I'm sure.
So the early 1900s, I think around the 1950s or 40s, the U.S. government realized that they wanted to subsidize eggs, orange juice, pork, and all the breakfast stuff that we like, right? And they went to a advertising firm. I forgot what his name was. He's supposed to be a legendary advertising guy, one of the Mad Men type guys back in the day. And he's the one who came up with part of a complete breakfast.
Yep.
And it was a picture of eggs, orange juice, pork, bacon, all that, everything that the government wanted to subsidize.
Amazing.
And then they brainwashed us into believing that you had to eat that and that was the most important thing of the day. And now we're finding out it's probably better not to eat breakfast, you fat fuck, because you're already taking in too many calories throughout the fucking day, or whatever the case may be. So to me, that goes back to when I talked about how those rich people are now trying to convince us that you'll be happier if you don't own anything. And I'm afraid that's going to work too, bro.
Absolutely.
But people like us can't be fucking buying into that.
No. Well, but the problem is that the majority are.
Which will be probably better for the people who aren't.
I'm not trying to go down that road of like everything that's happened in the last 2 fucking years and all the bullshit that went on. But I don't understand, like, not to get on the vaccine or whatever because I'm not political like that, but it's like,
come on, man.
But somebody you don't know, politicians or whomever, are just telling you to do something.
Yeah.
And you would be skeptical if your good friend told you something.
Yes.
But yet you'll like if your good friend was like, you should be doing this and you should be doing, you'd be like, I don't know. But yet fucking the government tells you something and you just go, oh, I guess they got my best interest.
Why is it that the government can have the most ridiculous explanations and we don't question them?
Nothing.
But if our friend gave us that same explanation,
if
our friend said, it was a magic bullet.
Mm-hmm.
we would not be friends with that person anymore. You'd be like, magic bullet. But then the fucking killing of JFK, all of a sudden, a bullet, apparently, there wasn't two shooters. One bullet exited him, made one 90-degree turn in 2 inches, and then made another 90-degree turn.
People like authority. They like being told what to do.
I think they're too scared
Yes.
of that apparatus.
They like to know.
That they just want to be like, okay.
They want to know somebody is apparently taking care of them.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is, it's like, no one's fucking doing anything for you. Everyone's lining their own pockets.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting rich. Everybody's putting their own friends and family in positions.
This vaccine thing.
It's all bullshit.
You know what this vaccine thing taught me?
How many fucking CEOs got rich in the last couple of years from Pfizer and Johnson and Johnson, and everybody's stock went through the...
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Exactly. The thing is that, like, to me, the vaccine thing was interesting because for so long I would be mad at conservatives and Republicans because they...
Who are both douchebags, by the way.
What?
Both sides.
No, both sides are douchebags. They do,
Both.
but in there, they're practically the same people.
Yes.
That were brainwashed to believe that we only believe in we're the color red and we're the color blue.
Yeah.
They're basically gangs in Detroit.
That's it.
That's what, you know what I'm saying.
Pleasant Creek.
I was in a gang in Detroit and I wore blue, and if somebody was wearing green, he would shoot me.
Yes.
Because I was wearing blue.
Yes.
It's so dumb. But the point is that, like, so for so long I'd be like mad at the Republicans because the Republicans would bow to the military industry. Mm-hmm. The military industry would try to have to convince us to go to war, right? So that we would give them all the tax dollars so they can make the money to continue these fucking wars, right? And it was always the conservatives that were the ones that would cheerlead that side of, you know, for the military industry. Yeah, war, freedom, whatever. The liberals were always the ones who were like, what the fuck? What do you mean? But then when it comes to the vaccine, it's the polar opposite. When it comes to the vaccine, the liberals champion the fucking drug companies and shame anyone who doesn't want to do it. And they're basically all doing the same thing, man.
It's insanity.
It's just insanity. To me, it's like the military industry banks off of Republicans as much as during this last thing with the vaccine, the people that were making the vaccine were banking off the liberals. The liberals were the ones that were shaming everybody so that these motherfuckers can make money.
It's, I mean, to think that there are people that got 6 or 7 booster shots.
I know, dude.
Dude,
I know.
Like, if you sat down and just looked at yourself in the mirror and said that out loud in the fucking mirror, like, I got 6 additional ones.
Yeah. After they told you only you needed one, and then they got you again.
Still got sick.
And then they got you again.
And you still got sick.
Bro, I fucking got COVID before the vaccine. Then I was forced to get the vaccine because I had to get it, right? Got it. Got COVID again, and then the second time it was worse than the first time. So what the fuck?
Listen, at the end of the day, if you really listen to what it is, it's a variant of the flu. And if you're, listen, it's going to affect older people who have compromised immune systems.
Who told them to get old? Fuck.
Okay, so we have that. Right, so we have that. But at the end of the day, if the other thing that drives me crazy is the people who take the test. So they go, I'm going to take a COVID test. And then they get, I have COVID. Now what? Now what? What do you? Okay, how does that change anything? Like, is there a medication for that? Is there a magic drug that's going to take care of that? You just got to ride it out.
I think at that time it was good for you to know that I'm going to just stay inside and just avoid people. Even though it was very early on, man. But
what I'm saying, Mike, is like,
when I got sick, I took it seriously and I just made sure I stayed in my house.
I understand that, but you're not going to do anything different. Like, when somebody is like, oh, I have COVID, I'm like, what are you doing any differently than if you had the flu? If you had the flu, you would stay in the house.
I know that, but they scared us.
Exactly.
They scared us, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
They terrified us.
Crazy.
It's crazy. And to me, what's crazy is how easy it was to just flip a switch in some people's brains and turn them into these zombies.
And I'm not trying to be like disrespectful, ignorant, naive piece of shit, not caring about others, but it's just like, let's talk about what it is that you would actually do if you got COVID. What would you do differently than if you just had the flu?
Go to the hospital, I suppose.
Yeah. You would stay in the house.
Yeah.
You would drink fluids. You would eat. You would
vitamin C.
You would take care of yourself. Right? If it was really bad because you were older or you had a compromised immune system, then you end up in the hospital.
Sure.
I get it. But if we're talking about, if this is real, a 98, 99% survival rate, wouldn't you take your chances? That's the same thing as if if we're going to use that as the example, you would never get on an airplane.
Bro, I have liberal friends. They have kids, and they work in the industry. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I feel like the things that they post are just ways to keep them working.
Yes.
And like they take their kids to get vaccinated, and they document the whole thing on the story. How brave. Mm-hmm. How brave. No, how idiotic. You're the fucking brave one for fucking making your kid who can't make a decision get something that they could probably fight off themselves. Listen,
there
man.
were fucking people when we were doing comedy in the pandemic bullshit in backyards and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I would post a clip.
Okay.
And people like that I knew or whoever saw it, they'd write me some fucking crazy shit like, "Oh my God, you're so disrespectful. You're not taking it seriously. You could be infected. You're just spreading it."
Do you know what happened to me? This really pissed me off, bro. I was dating this Italian girl back in the.
There's the first problem.
Well, that's the first problem. Well, yeah, I had to break up with her, but no, she was great on a lot of levels. But then it was just like, you know, I can't stick around when people start gaslighting you.
Yeah.
And start like trying to turn the tables on. It's just like there's no growth there. Mm-hmm. So, but anyways, we were dating, and you know, during the lockdown, you know, I was like, you know what, this thing is like going on for a while. She stayed here with me. We had a great time.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Great. She loved to cook. Miss it. She loved to cook.
Yeah.
Oh my God, like every night we were just fucking eating and having a great time. Then I was like, you know what, babe? Let's go to fucking Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. Let's fly to Puerto Rico. I go, I'm gonna get a place that I was at last time at this golf resort. They have a private beach, which no one is ever on this fucking beach. You want to talk about social distancing, okay?
It's the best.
And we already know now that COVID can't survive under the sun, right? I go to fucking there, right? We're sitting on the beach, and I just like, whenever I'm on vacation, sometimes I post a picture to let people know I'm on vacation, because sometimes when you do that, a lot of your friends are like, oh, that's fucking great or whatever.
And you caught shit.
A lot of my close friends, I'm talking about people that I've known for years, decades, okay? How dare you? You don't care about old people. How many people have you killed on that airplane? Blah, 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 blah. And I was blown away, Gary. I couldn't believe that the very people who, whenever I posted a vacation picture before, would be so happy that I'm on vacation, now all of a sudden we're like, fuck you. I'm doing my job staying inside, being fat and miserable and compromised. Why are you enjoying yourself?
People were calling the people.
I couldn't believe it, bro. It was so heartbreaking.
People were ratting on people who were walking on the beach, their dog, like all alone on the beach in LA. People were calling the authorities on them. Could you imagine how fucking crazy this world has gotten? Like, that, like, you see someone 300 yards away who is totally by himself throwing the ball to his
more
dog.
Than 300. He's got a telescope.
He's just like, I got to get out of the house for a half hour, and he's throwing the ball all by himself. He doesn't even see you. And then all of a sudden on quads, cops pull up and are like, what do you do? Like, if they could do that, they could do a lot of shit.
To me, that's
the scary
That's
part.
what scares me, because I think that is
Was it a test?
That, well, you know what this is a byproduct of? This is a byproduct of America losing its sense of community, right? So instead of, like, so for example, like I'll be on my street, right? And then maybe like at one point I remember the Polish guy next door to me, he built his own house, right? So he had a lot of wood in the backyard, okay? Someone called the city on him for having all that wood in the back, and then he came yelling at me thinking that I did it.
Right.
And I was like, what the fuck? Why would I do that?
Yeah.
But the point is that me and him ended up having this old school discussion.
Right.
Where he agreed with me, where I'm like, that just shows that we have a breakdown in community. Because if this was a real community and we all knew each other in some way, you wouldn't have to resort to calling the cops. You would just literally walk up and be like, hey, Bill, that's an eyesore back there, man. Do you mind like fixing that or whatever?
There's no such thing
and a lot of the times that type of community cordial talking to, the other person would be like, oh, you know what? I didn't even realize that was bothering you like that. Okay, sure, Or maybe people would help him move the fucking shit. Now it's like, you don't even do that.
You don't
don't
know.
even meet that person. You just call the fucking cops on them.
It's shitty.
And the fact that cops can fucking be called for shit like that means that we need to restructure what cops do, bro. I don't think cops should be handing out tickets.
We had that one night at Saad's house when we did a fucking comedy show back there. It was the middle of the shit going on, and we were in that backyard, and there was like 25 people, whatever, and the cops showed up. And they came to the front gate, and they were like, "Oh, what are you guys doing back there?" And it was just like, "Oh, it's just a small gathering. We're just hanging out." And they were like, "All right, no problem, whatever." But they would like, for them to even show up for that, because the call to them was there's people gathering, and it's like,
Oh, they got a call.
yeah.
So it wasn't like they were walking by and they were like,
No, they got a call, and they pulled up, and they were like,
and you can even tell a lot of these cops, they don't want to be
they're
doing
not
this.
doing. What are they?
They
gonna
don't want to
do
do this.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna round up 30 people and arrest them?
They did it with an outdoor show that this other guy was running on the front yard, and then like the cops had to come there and be like,
No.
"Look, we got the call," and they were like, "You guys are not supposed to be doing this or whatever." But then they were cool. They were like, "Look, if you can just tone down the noise a little bit." He goes, "We'll let you finish the show." Mm-hmm. And then he goes, "But other than that, you can't do this anymore." And you can even tell. They were even telling us, they were like, "Listen, we don't agree with this either."
What are you gonna do?
It's like, I have to do my job.
It's fucking crazy, and people are screaming at each other for everything, and they're like, "Don't wear a mask! Don't wear a mask! Wear a mask!" And I'm like, why are you people not? Why are you not that mad at the government for putting the shit that they put in their food? You don't care about that. You'll scream at everybody for everything else, but you won't talk
Because it's easy, bro.
I know. It's
Everyone
easy.
wants what's easy.
But it's also
Like my one
I
friend
have this
with that
over you.
last shooting that we had.
Yeah.
One of my liberal friends posted this picture of the news article, and then she just puts, "It's the guns."
Yeah. It's good.
And I'm like, you know, that you don't give a fuck really about the guns thing, because if you did, you would look at both sides of the issue. Instead, it's much easier for you to be cool in your echo chamber. It's now you feel so good because all you have to do is go, "It's the guns," and then 500 of your friends are like, "You're
Yep,
right."
yep.
And now you can go on your day feeling like you're so virtuous.
That's the fucking problem, is people find commonalities with other people who feel the same way about them,
And they're
then
not
it just-
challenged.
and it just keeps like building, and you're like, it's insanity.
Buddy, I have another friend of mine. Again, they're working to be in Hollywood and all that fucking shit. He's from Detroit. And we sat down and talked one day, and we were having like dinner and shit, and then I brought up the whole all cops are bad. So he goes, "I don't like this one comedian because he's all pro cop." And then I'm like, "Pro cop in what way?" And I go, and then so we got to the all cops are bad, and I've always been on the side. I'm like, that whole terminology, all cops are bad, is fucking dumb.
Yep.
Right? And then everyone at that table attacks me. Right? What do you mean it's dumb? You know what cops are doing? I'm like, listen, you don't have to explain to me how terrible cops are.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm not an idiot.
Yep.
I pay attention.
Yep.
I'm saying, just saying all cops are bad removes the nuances of the discussions that we really need to fucking have. Saying all cops are bad is just an easy way to say it. And then my one friend started challenging me, and then he goes, "But they are all bad." I go, "All of them are bad?"
Right. That's,
He goes, "Yeah, all of them are bad." And then I go, "All right, let me ask you something. If some guy was coming into your house with a gun to attack you and your family, are you going to call the cops?" Can you believe his answer? His answer was, and he said it so confidently, "I will do everything in my power not to call the cops." Hold on a second. Next question. The next logical question. Do you own a gun? He goes, "Fuck no, dude, I'm liberal."
oh my God.
Then I'm like, so what power do you have that you're talking about? You're going to do
wrestle him?
everything in your power. You're going to talk him out of it. You're going to fucking tell him jokes. I'm going to put you in my movie or what? What? And he got mad at that.
Yeah.
He got mad. He got like really, really mad. Like the seething like hatred. But he really didn't. He was locked up. He couldn't say anything. And it's like there's ideology and then there's reality. But that motherfucker's like stuck in ideology, and I can't break him out of it. No. Even with that logic, I can't break him out of it.
No.
On the flip side, I'm sorry, I don't know how other people feel about this. That's how I feel about conservatives with abortion. They throw their emotion into the mix so much they can't even have a nuanced discussion. When you're like, "Hey, okay, you want to let all the babies be born, but we can't even take care of half the babies that are born right now. What are you going to do?" They have no answer. To them, they have this emotional thing about not killing a baby. But then when you have all these other questions afterwards, they only stop at don't kill the baby. And liberals are the same thing with guns.
Yep.
They're just like, it's all the guns, but how about all these other nuance, or it's only cops are bad? But how about, they don't want to talk about that shit. They don't want to talk about how we need to have a different psychological reevaluation of cops every month, mandatory, so that they could see the psychologist without having to see the psychologist in front of their peers, and then their peers going, "Oh, can you believe Gary went to go see that? He's cracking."
The like some of the recent stories with the cops and this kid that, you know, in Memphis, that got killed. That's fucking crazy. I actually think that kid was set up.
Wait. What? Can you tell me what happened?
That was the kid. He's not a kid. I think he was like 28, but he got pulled over. It was 4 black cops. He's a black guy, and they pulled him over. Said he was driving reckless.
Okay.
And then they asked him to get out of the car. And then they like pinned him on the ground, and he ended up like, they were beating him. They were like wailing on him. They were like punching him in the face, kicking him, and he actually got up somehow and got out of it and ran. And then they tracked him down, and they were kicking the shit out of him. And
is this on video?
Yes, it's all on their body cams. Like, they're legit. There was no reason, just like over the top. It was just insanity, and he died.
How long ago was this?
Just in the last 2 weeks.
Oh, shit.
And so he died, and it's just like, it's crazy. Like, how does it get to that point? Like, all right, so if he was driving reckless, if you get handcuffs on him and put him in the back of a fucking car, like, that should be the end of it. Like,
but why did he run? Did they start beating him first, or did he run and then they had to catch him to beat him?
I think they were starting to beat on him, and I actually think he probably got scared, because I think he ended up probably feeling like, these guys are going to kill me. I think that's probably what was going through his head, like, from the shit that I've seen. And he ended up just running. He was calling out for his mother, too.
While he was running?
While he was getting beat. And so these guys are all now arrested. They're all facing charges. And a couple of them have prior instances of beating people that they've pulled over and shit like that. They've had complaints against them.
And they're all 4 black cops.
All 4 black cops. And I'm like, why did they pull this guy over? Like, what? Like, how did it get to this level? And I'm just trying to figure out, like, you know, they also say he worked for FedEx. He was a nerd. He was like a skater kid. Like, he was just a nerdy FedEx delivery guy.
He didn't have no drugs in him, or
that there was nothing.
He had nothing in his blood or whatever. He wasn't drunk.
No. And they didn't find anything.
They have the whole body cam thing online.
Yes.
You can watch the whole thing.
You can watch the whole thing
from the moment that they pull him over.
Yep. And then they took him to the hospital, but he had so much bleeding on the brain and swelling, and he was just done. And he succumbed to his injuries in like 2 or 3 days. And I'm just like, how does it get to that point? Like, what the fuck? How does it get? I think his name is Tyrus something or other. Just put in Memphis cops.
I go Memphis. I go body cam. Oh, it's Memphis.
Yeah.
Not Mississippi.
No, Memphis.
Tennessee.
Yep. I mean, they fucked him up.
You trying to get on the podcast, Sky? Tyree Nichols calling for his mother. Holy shit. Where do you find the video without having to watch it on there?
I mean, it's on YouTube.
I just go on
YouTube that, Mike Eshaq.
Yeah, buddy. Man, this is yeah, to me, here's another thing though. I got something to say about that. I haven't seen this, right? But I got something to say about sometimes you will see these. Wow, hold on. Yo, this is 26 minutes.
Yeah.
Full video.
Yeah, they.
This video is inappropriate. I understand. I wish to proceed. The following. I understand. I wish to proceed. I'm just gonna fast forward a little bit.
I'm on the ground. Hold
on.
All right.
Hold on. I forgot. I can't do it on this one. I gotta do it on the Google.
In any event, they're just.
I understand and wish to proceed. I'm gonna share the screen.
up. Damn, I didn't do anything. Hey, I didn't turn your ass around. All right. On the ground.
Whoa.
You don't do that, okay? Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Okay. Raise your ass. All right, I'm on the ground. Lay down.
He's not even putting up a fight.
On the ground. I think I tased you. Get on the ground. One. Now. I tased him. All right. Okay. All right.
Man, they came in with so much.
Crazy.
But what happened before?
Put your hands behind your back. Quick.
That's the important thing. What happened before, though?
What do you mean? Why he got pulled over?
Yeah. Like, did they
They
have a
said-
good reason to be
They
mad
said
at
he-
him?
They said it was reckless driving. I don't know.
Was he really recklessly
know.
driving?
I don't know. But still, at this point, he's pretty coherent.
Okay, so now he's resisting. See, he's getting up and he's fighting them now.
they tased
And
him,
they tase him and he's still trying to run away.
and then I think they just beat the shit out of him.
And then they chased him down, right? Okay. Damn, bro. See, this is where I think the disconnect is. I think the disconnect comes from most black people, especially friends that I know, very terrified of
Yeah.
situations with cops. And I think that fear makes them act irrational.
Yeah.
You know, like you're having a hard time keeping your wits about you.
You're probably right.
And I think that's what happened here. This is from what I'm gathering. It seems like he's like, all right, I'm on the ground, but they're
how
like, get
did-
on the ground, get on the
How does it
ground.
get to a point where they just beat him to death? That's crazy.
Yeah, like why do you keep
There's
hitting
6
him?
of you. And then one of the cops was quoted as saying, like, because it picked up on the body cam, he said to the other cops, I was fucking hitting him with straight haymakers. Like, they were almost, like, bragging about, like, how they just fucking manhandled him. That's wild. I mean, he's, like, leaning up against the car. It took them, like, 15 minutes. It took, like, the paramedics to take him to the hospital.
Somebody had a really good idea I heard on a podcast.
But who knows, too, not to interrupt you,
Yeah.
but, like, who knows what the situation is here, too. Like, I even said to Lindsay, I said, he could have been he's a FedEx driver. God forbid he, like, said something to one of their wives, and they caught wind of it, and maybe they were hunting him. You don't know. Like, maybe they were just, they had it, like,
All I see is the footage of them going back to his car.
yeah, I don't know where the other, I
Hold
mean,
on.
it's hard, too, because there's so much movement.
So right now we're just watching the guys going back to their car. And somebody else is chasing them, and I don't think we're following that right now. I'm going to have to watch the rest of this,
Yeah,
man.
you're going to have to watch it.
I'm like, but the thing is I think a lot of it comes
Just don't
down.
know how a guy dies like that.
Here's the thing, man. Okay, so this is them catching up to him. So this is now we're at the other body cam where the other guys caught up to him. And now they're just beating the shit out of him. These guys know they have body cams too.
Which is crazy.
So
There was one point I
they
think
beat
they
him.
said
Then he's threatening to mace him again.
two of the cops I think
This
kicked
guy's
him
like
direct
trying to
in the
break his
face.
arm, it looks like.
They kicked him directly in the face.
They're macing him. So he's on the ground already
Yeah.
and they're still macing him.
Give me a hand. Turn around. Lay flat. Lay flat, goddamn. All right. Lay flat, goddamn.
The thing, here's another thing. It's the guys are not good at giving out commands.
No.
They're saying get on the ground. What they mean to say is get on the ground flat. And
Don't
he's sitting
move.
on the ground and he's
Yeah.
like, I'm on the ground. He's like, what do you want?
Yeah. That's a bad situation.
How do you get the...
Back row, man. Back creek, goddamn.
Damn, bro. All right, well, I'm going to have to watch this again later, bro. I don't know, man. I think a lot of it...
crazy.
I think a lot of it is these motherfuckers, they don't have any
It's a power trip.
It's a power trip, but then they also don't have any de-escalation training. You know, like there's none of that.
I know.
These motherfuckers ain't even thinking about shit like that.
Like, and I know they got to be cautious. Like, if the guy's going to grab a gun or something, you don't know. Like, shit can happen quick.
Listen, you remember during the pandemic, after George Floyd, there was the other guy that got killed that was shot 7 times in the back. Okay.
Was he the one that was running?
No, he wasn't. This is what happened. Okay. So this is the thing. Okay. I'm just going to break down like how I had to experience it at first. That made me mad at the cop, right? D.L. Hughley, if you follow him, he will always post like shit that's like bad shit happening to black people, right? And sometimes it's out of context. And it kind of makes me mad because he would post some things that make me go, man, what the fuck? And then when I actually look into it, I'm like, wait a minute.
This is the problem. You're getting snippets.
So the video that I showed, it showed right at the moment where the guy who's black is walking back to his minivan, right? And the cop's like, freeze, 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 freeze. And then he shoots him. Boom, 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 right? That pissed me the fuck off.
Yeah.
Now, that video was the only thing that they showed on the news, right? And they just stoked all this anger on people who are all cops are bad and on the left, right? And then I decided to find the full video. And then I decided to read about what happened. And when you get the full story, you realize the white cops are showing up to help out the black mom and the kids, and he's trying to steal the fucking kids.
Yep.
And he had a restraining order where he couldn't be anywhere near her, and he already broke the restraining order. He forced the kids to get in the fucking minivan. She had to call the cops. The cops are on the way. As soon as the cops are on the way, they get the call from the dispatch, hey, this guy's got priors and he's got a warrant for his arrest, so you need to take him in.
That was the same thing.
Hold on a second. So then they get there. They see the kids are in the minivan. They're trying to get him away from the minivan, right? And they say freeze, and he didn't comply. And then the guy walks and defies him and goes into the car. The cop waits until the guy gets into the car. It looks like he's going in to reach for something.
Yep.
And then he shoots him. Now, hear me out.
D.L. Hughley didn't do a good job of posting that.
At first, I was like, fuck the cops on this.
Yep.
Then when I found out what the truth was,
Yeah.
and then I started like sharing the information, all my liberal friends started coming at me. You don't care about black people. No. And I'm like, it's not that I don't care about black people. Don't you guys know that they were there helping black kids? There were kids in the minivan. Who knows if maybe that guy was suicidal? What if the guy was going to pick up the gun and shoot the kids first?
That was the same thing.
And to me, it's like then people get mad at Candace Owens when she says, play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Right.
He's the prime example of that.
Well, it was the same thing like LeBron James is the king of fucking putting out shit that out of context and him not knowing all the facts.
Oh, he is? I don't know. I don't follow him.
So there was an incident, I guess, about a year ago where there was a young girl who was literally had a knife in her hand. And she was going to slash her other friend. Like it was a domestic thing.
I think I remember seeing this.
And so the cops showed up, black girls, parents were outside, the whole thing. It was in this neighborhood in Ohio. White cops show up. She's going to literally stab or slash whomever. The cop shoots or kills her.
Oof.
And LeBron James starts posting like the home address of this cop.
Doxing him.
Yeah.
Which is illegal and stupid, and you can't do that.
And I'm like, did you bother to see if whether or not, like, he was justified in it? Like, this other girl would be dead if, in fact, he didn't do that. And it was all caught on the body cam thing and the whole nine. And it's like, it was either her or that girl was going to get killed. She was going to slash this other girl.
She was erratic.
And it's like, you're now going to put, with your platform,
exactly,
300 million followers,
you're going to piss off a bunch of people,
and you're now going to, you don't take into consideration this cop. Not only him, he has kids, he has a family, and you're posting his address, and all you need is 1 or 2 crazy people to come out of nowhere and go to his house and do something to his family, when in fact
you're right,
he was just
Bro, context doesn't exist
No,
anymore.
it doesn't.
And now, here's the thing.
And the people believe the snippets they see.
Sure.
And they run with it.
And they run with it, and then they don't have the common decency to come back and be like, oh, man, maybe I fucked up. No, they run with it. And then they stick to their guns because they have to fight for their side. That's really what it boils down to.
Yep.
It's like when you, it's almost like a religion.
It is.
It's almost like we have to fight for these lies right now.
It is.
You know?
No one wants to take the time and just go and read it up for themselves or just kind of get
But bro, it was eye-opening to me.
Yeah, I know.
It was eye-opening how brainwashed my friends really were.
It's insane.
So for the longest time, I thought they were smarter than that. And then I remember I posted something on my Instagram with the guy, okay, and then I made a comment about how people were taking this out of context, and then let's whatever. And one of my friends who's not a dumb person, it just didn't even read it, and literally commented, and I'll never forget this. And she was just like, "So you mean to tell me you're okay with a white man
It's insane.
just putting 7 bullets in the back of a black man?" And it's like, now I realize how dumb and racist you really are.
Well,
you're more racist than the racist that you think you fucking hate.
People read headlines, and that's their fact.
I couldn't fucking
That's the
believe it,
reality.
bro.
Or they hear it from somebody else. Most of the time, they're not even reading it.
No, I know. A lot of my friends are like that. I can tell.
Most of the time, they're getting together to get a cup of coffee,
Yeah.
and someone says to them, "Oh, by the way, did you hear this?"
Yeah.
And then they go, "Whatever he said,
Yeah.
I'm
gonna
now
say
pass it on to whomever."
I agree with that opinion. It sounds smart,
It sounded reasonable,
and I'm gonna start saying that.
and that's it.
You know,
Dude, we're fucked.
We're
It's
fucked.
over. Let the comment hit us. Kim Jong-un is a pussy. Can he just hit the red button already and send the missile? Let's go. Enough already. What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? I was in Austin, Texas doing shows 2 years ago. I'm outside. We sit outside at a diner. It was a bunch of us, and it started raining. We go inside because we wanted to sit inside. It was raining, and I don't have a mask on. And I'm going to the table. It was literally 5 feet from the table we were sitting at outside. Waitress comes out of nowhere. She's like, "Sir, please put your mask on." And I'm like, I'm gonna sit, and then I'm taking it off again. What?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be walking in the common areas. I go,
buddy.
I just like the
Buddy.
fact that you've even gotten to this point,
buddy.
of believing this
Take
shit.
that now. Take that form of innocent manipulation. That's a manipulation that's happening to our people. That to me, it's like it's on a level harmless, right? Right. But you can extrapolate that same type of programming that somebody's willing to buy into, and go, let's gas these people.
It's insane.
Right? It's pretty much almost the same fucking shit, bro.
Because 99% of
The
people
level
are
of
just gonna fall
severity
in.
is different, but the inner workings is the same, bro.
They
The
know-
mechanisms of that manipulation is the same.
The people running the world, the George Soroses of the world.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Right? George Soros has got what, 12, 13, 14 billion dollars.
Yeah.
And he's just bailing out petty criminals, and you're like,
Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, like what's the agenda? Like what's going, like I don't
I
get it.
also find out that he puts money into like manipulating the way the political shit flows. So
course.
he'll pump money into one guy,
course.
right? And then he will pump even more money to a guy who's against that guy. And it's just like he's like trying to play like this power balance.
Why the fuck is Bill Gates talking about a vaccine? This guy, he hasn't even mastered Windows 95. And he's on fucking, right? But no one will talk about the fact, like, right?
I don't know too much about this Bill Gates thing. I haven't really looked into it that much.
He's been shoving the vaccine down people's throat for the last 3 years.
Well, he probably really believes in it.
Well, I think he's probably also got a lot of money tied up in whatever. And
But he's also done a lot of good things, though. Right?
he was also on fucking Epstein's flight log that no one's looked at.
Oh, no.
His wife has gone on interviews saying part of the reason I got divorced from him is because his relationship with Epstein.
No. This is real?
Look it up.
I'm not going to.
Okay, take my word.
And then I'm going to pass
And
it on.
pass it on. Because we need to be on the same fucking side.
Is that real, bro?
Yes. How come nobody on the Epstein log has been raided?
You know what's crazy? Is that guys like Alex Jones is now starting to come out to be like a prophet in some of the things that he predicted a while ago.
And listen, there's people that would think I'm a fucking conspiracy theorist, because I am. Because I don't believe anybody. Why would I believe anyone?
Yeah. I'm the same way, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm
And
the
I'm not
same
like
way.
out there like preaching, and I don't do that on social media and shit, but I'm just like, I'm not fucking taking your word for it.
Yeah, bro.
Why?
I think people like me and you, man, you know.
Who the fuck is Chuck Schumer?
Right.
All I know is that his fucking niece, Amy, looks like a potato with eyes.
Ooh.
She's fat and ugly.
I don't really fucking know what she looks like. Oh, you talking? That's her niece?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Amy Schumer?
Chuck Schumer, they're related.
No.
Yes.
You're lying.
It's true.
You don't know that's
It's all
true.
true. I'm telling you.
I'm going to
Look
run
that
with
shit
it, though.
I'm telling you, I read the New York Post. I know everything.
The New York Post.
Fucking
We're back
nice,
on that shit.
nice fucking conservative paper. I know everything.
Are you conservative?
Yeah, I lean that way.
Yeah. More.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
But I'm
lean-
not like fucking unreasonable.
Do you lean a liberal on anything?
Well, I'm for abortion because how else would the Democrats kill each other? You got to get it before that. You know what I'm saying?
It's also they kill more white babies.
I listen. I'm more conservative from a financial. That's where I
Yeah.
like
I'm
the
pretty
taxes
conservative in
stuff
that.
and shit. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, come on,
Yeah.
fucking ridiculous.
But when it comes to gay marriage, I'm like, go. I don't care.
I was owed my wife and I were owed a refund on a tax return that we had.
Okay.
And they haven't given it to us in like 8-9 months because their processing is so fucked up.
Okay.
And you earn interest on that money, right? So they send you a letter and they say this is X amount, whatever the dollar was.
This tax.
This is interest that we have accumulated on your money, and
This is the government.
this is the government, and that interest is then taxed.
That's hilarious.
So, dude, like,
That's hilarious.
You're fucked.
You know what pissed me off?
And that's why my motto is you just gotta outrun it.
When you're in the Marines, you're getting
You
paid
gotta outrun
with
it in the
tax
Marines.
dollars,
Yes,
and then you get taxed on
Tax
that.
on it.
I'm like,
It's
what
fucking
the
crazy.
fuck is this?
it's crazy.
They made you pay for your uniform.
You just
they
get-
made you pay for everything you have there, and then when you finally get some money, they tax it. I was like, I was blown away, bro.
You're taxed on everything.
Yeah. All right, we got to end this podcast, buddy.
All right, kid.
I got to get going. This was fucking awesome. I'm going to watch the rest of this fucking video. Plug your thing. I'm about to let it go. Plug it. Plug anything.
Oh yeah. Well, you can find me and my shows at Gary Leli Comedy. I'm also on Instagram at Gary Leli Comedy, and we got a cooking show which we didn't really talk much about, but we got to have you come over.
Oh, I would love
hang
it.
out, do
Yeah.
a little snack review with us.
Yeah.
And that's on Instagram at Good Cooking Show.
Nice.
It's also on YouTube, Good Cooking Show.
I saw some of those clips, man.
Yeah.
They're great.
So come over, review some fucking fruit roll-ups with us. You know, keep it nice and light.
You don't review any of your own cooking? You don't
we
cook?
could. I do. Yeah.
So you're cooking and then we're
Well,
reviewing your
obviously,
cooking?
you never fucking watched the show. You lied. This is not.
I
fair.
saw the part where you guys are eating fruit roll-ups and shit.
Yeah, no, we have all cooking episodes on there. I do all recipes and meals.
But do you have people come critique those?
No, but if you want to come,
You should
and do
do that.
We'll do that. We'll make a meal, and then you can
You should
tell
make
us
a
if you
meal
hate
and then I'll bust its balls.
and you can give us a Yelp review.
You have you're on Yelp?
No, you.
Shut up, dude.
I'm just saying you can give us a review.
You have to be on Yelp for me to give you a review.
I'm not on Yelp.
Yeah,
I got a
so-
cooking show in my kitchen. Who the fuck is coming?
New York Post, guys.
Just you. New York Post.
Guys, MikeFromDetroit.com, everything. I got new show dates. I'm coming to Houston. I just booked New York. Dates are coming up on my website soon. I'll see you guys later. This was an awesome podcast. Thank you very much.
You're the
Peace
best.
out.
Public Yemeni #1.